There exists a world where islands soar through the heavens. Buoyed by deposits of the enigmatic core stone, these massive structures float high above the swirling volcanic maw below. These islands experience a precarious existence, buffeted regularly by the four great elemental winds that bring bounty and life just as surely as they bring destruction and death. In this hostile environment, it is perhaps surprising that the most humble of creatures have risen to claim it. These unlikely creatures harness this power to grow, become sentient, and finally build civilization. Join the crew of the Undeniably Good Time Network as we take our first tentative steps into the wild realm of Sentima. Come with us as we explore these Sundered wilds.
Welcome back, everyone, to the next episode of Sentima, Sundered Wilds, sponsored by Yubi's Adventure. Go check out their website, check out their Kickstarter. Scrollers and details will be popping down below me, probably below me. And check out cool system, cool group of people, cool company, and a great, interesting little system that we got going on here. And hope you enjoy. We are down a couple of people. That's all right.
They were eaten by horses.
We join our heroes in a boat rowing their way across Dragonfly Lake.
Could we have rested before we got on the boat?
Sure, yeah, no, that would be perfect sense because, in fact, this is, the next day.
Okay, thank God.
Because when last we left our heroes, they were running back through the streets, incriminating evidence in hand, waving it, and bringing it to Ijana, the mayor of Haven, the murderer of Fana having been discovered as the evil spider gladiator, who was quickly apprehended. As far as motive going under interrogation, the only thing she said was that she was actually once Fana's research companion, but Fana got all the glory for their research discoveries. And even when it came time for them to be punished because Fana got the wrong people angry, she was thrown down here on the Exile Island on the Haunt, along with her research partner, even though she never got any of the fame, and she has never been able to forgive Fana for that. And that grudge festered until it turned into murder. Ijana was very grateful, by the way, and did indeed reward you with the promised cash and the promised tools, as well as your own brand new house in Haven. Needs a little work, to be perfectly honest with you, but it's certainly enough and cozy enough for you to rest.
It's something to rest my branches on.
It's something to rest your branches on. You didn't have much time to rest, though, because the very next day, Ijana had called you out and had spoken of another problem that she found herself worrying about. She remarked that there is a settlement nearby, a settlement of repairmen and engineers that are working on trying to repair the wreck that you have seen crashed on the island. She mentions that this wreck is an old ship that was called the Courser, and the ship was downed by a shipbreaker centipede, the very one whose skeleton forms an island in the middle of the lake by the town. She doesn't think that they have any hope of repairing it. However, she does worry that the trouble they do cause could damage the island. She has no real evidence of this, but she wants you all to investigate. The main reason being that Haven and the Courser camp don't really get along. Courser camp wants nothing to do with, but you all are relatively new to the island, and even though you've earned some renown here, there's quite a stretch between the two camps. So you should be able to cross it and make your way into that camp, get in their good graces, and see what's going on, to see if there is any way that if the island is in danger, we can put a stop to it.
We can make them some dinner. Speaking of dinner, could I have maybe fixed myself up a little? I was a little wounded.
Well, certainly it would all have come together we can go ahead and say everybody's wounds are healed and that you are back up to full stamina. Certainly, Ijana wouldn't have sent you out unprepared. One thing Ijana does say is that if you manage to come back with this information, she will be more than happy to reward you yet again. And in fact, has an ancient but still quite powerful rifle that she has been saving, that she will be more than happy to give to you if you're able to pull this off.
She's just gonna give us her gun.
Ijana's so first off, Ijana was thrown down here for a failed coup attempt. So her and her boys,
they are strapped and armed and dangerous.
They knew what they were doing, and
Do you have a better cooking pot for me?
no, I'm afraid you've got the cooking pots you've got.
I meant, like, as a reward. If we do really well, could I have a better place to cook food? Do you have a nicer kitchen? We could do a cooking competition.
They just gave us a house. They just gave us not only a kitchen, but like a lot of stuff around the kitchen.
Ungrateful. You see that?
No,
You
what
see
I
that?
mean is I just want to cook nicer stuff for you, and if I had a better pot, it would look better.
Well, Ijana says that they can talk about that.
Okay.
Indeed, you were found ushered out with Ampero's boats. One of the few that have been repaired so far, though he's hard at work working at them, given that you were so nice as to recover them from the bottom of the lake. Well done, Carvey. Yeah.
He got more than one.
Why is it that everyone always rewards us with your stuff? Nobody seems to care about my stuff.
Well, that's because there's a lot of trees. And you can't go giving them all fresh cooking pots.
Oh.
But there's guns for everybody.
That sounds...
Like something he'd be saying.
So
Yes.
I do believe that
This sounds right, yes.
Anya was selling. Each of you has been paid 2 caddy coins each. So you each have 2 caddy coins. And I do believe that Anya was selling a spoon and pot that gives you +2 to cooking if you wanted to go and purchase
I
it.
already bought it.
Oh, well then you've already got a better kitchen. What are you complaining about? The ungratefulness.
You got a maximum kitchen. You've got ideal kitchen.
Maximum kitchen, and it's still not enough.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll go find some rare mushrooms.
Well, speaking of that, we come to our heroes. Heroes? Maybe. We'll see.
Sentiment.
Our Sentima exiles on the boat.
My
moving
herbal
your way
brethren.
to...
My herbal brethren.
Your herbal brethren. Plus a wasp. On the boat, moving your way across the lake. We have our Saul, Sakahad, and Mimi team who are actually going on a separate mission to go and gather resources. They say they will catch up to you, but that you can go ahead and forge the trail ahead of them. And indeed, the area of Dragonfly Lake that you're pulling yourself up to quickly falls into shadow as you travel. And looking up, you can see why. High above you, not so high that it's actually quite close for as far as continental distances and islands go. Pencil's gone. Don't get it. It's gone. Always trying.
You just throw it?
No, I went to turn it in my hand and it slipped, hit here, and just bounced away.
And fell into the void. Here, I got one here for you. I probably don't need it.
Throw it.
I can get it. It was literally just to
Ready?
the left. No, I got it.
I really want to throw a
You
pencil
can
at you.
throw it. I'll catch it.
No, I guess I should probably keep a pencil in case I need something to write it down with.
Man, AJ and Brent are gone for one episode. We're trying to throw
We're already
things
throwing
across
sharp
the
things at each
studio.
other. Yeah, he's probably listening in like utter horror to this.
Oh no, Mom and Dad are gone.
We can finally throw that party we've been talking about.
But above you, you can see another island, the size of what appears to be massive over you, which is shadowing this section of the island. This island is up in the mainstream, but it is so close that it can it seems to almost perpetually block the sunlight in this section of the island, which happens many times for the haunt. And kind of as you continue to row onwards through this dimming twilight, which turns into gloom, which turns into near darkness, the amount of ambient light is very low here. You can almost sort of feel it just kind of, sap your energy. Like, this is a place that is barren and abandoned. And even the water seems devoid of life. What normally you saw these massive kelp blooms, the water here just appears to be barren, and with no place to hide, it seems that the fish avoid it as well. So you're basically just rowing over sterile water in the gloom. You're following the instructions, and apparently the wreck of the courser is quite a ways away. But one thing that does catch your eye is you start to see glimmers, what appear to be pinpricks of light, the various colors that seem to kind of flicker in and out as you continue to row. And it's far in the distance, and as you...
He's trying to catch it anyway. He doesn't really have a good sense of
depth
perception down here, especially with no light. He thinks they're right in front of him.
Well, sadly, either they are not right in front of you, or they are, but are very elusive, because you never quite managed to get your branch hand around it. But you can see it kind of flickering and glowing, and they get brighter and brighter as you get closer, until you come across a stone pier, which is the landmark you were told to keep an eye out for. And the stone pier, as you look out, the ground seems to almost have clusters of what look like starlight just flickering and glowing in the distance. And it is, it's actually haunting and beautiful at the same time.
J-Stall, those are so pretty.
Well, now, why don't we go on our head on over there and try and catch one?
Okay. Do you think we can?
Probably that and cook one as well.
Wow, we could cook lights? No one's ever taught me how to do that.
Well, you cook anything you put in that pot right now.
Okay.
Now, he says that, but there's a certain imploding mushroom that you recall.
Yeah, you can cook it. It doesn't make food.
It made a mace, if I remember correctly.
It ruined my pot.
You tie up the boat at the pier, and as you... one thing that you have noticed, so the ever-present threat of the bloom is this wash of green elemental energy that sweeps through the area and has already caused you, no shortage of trouble. But one thing you notice, and maybe a side effect, this section of the island being so heavily sheltered by the continent above it, the bloom seems very diminished here. While previously you could almost see them almost like suspended green crystals in the air, once you came under here, that started to disappear and slowly drop lower and lower. And until kind of the ambient energy in the air from these winds died down to a relatively reasonable level. It seems that the one positive side of being here underneath the shadow of this continent is that the strength of the elemental winds seems to be relatively minor, and so hopefully shouldn't cause you too much trouble.
It's nice down here. There's nothing to blow us up yet.
Well, I'm working on that one.
The pier is otherwise devoid of features. Looking out into the distance, you can see what seems to be a trail that kind of winds its way through the landscape. Around here, you can, while you have the starlight flickering of what must be something that's bioluminescent, you can also see what appear to be hunks of debris, fallen rocks, something that looks jagged, almost like a girder that seems to have fallen from the island above you. Appears that over the many years that this island has been trapped here, this section has been just the receiving ground of falling detritus.
I'd like to try to collect some of it so we could maybe make something from it later.
It's a bit far out, but you probably could do that. Moreover, right here on the pier, there does seem to be some of what appears to be fallen scrap nearby, as well as a glowing patch of red lights, which as you approach appears to be pockets of fire fern, which you had previously collected on the other side of Haven, but these specimens seem to be particularly bright and flush.
Ooh.
I'm just going to scoop me up some of that right there.
Well, you go ahead and give me an herbalism check.
I could do that for you. You're gonna set yourself on fire again, J-Stall.
What's the DL?
Difficulty level is going to be 12. It's not too terribly difficult.
Oh, I got it.
There's
Ain't no big
also
deal.
like, fair enough. Yep. There's also the scrap iron you could try to pull up too.
I can give you my tool so you can get a +2 to that if you want.
Sure.
All right. I give him my axe.
3 successes.
3 successes. Well, you know what? With practiced ease,
And only one of them from the tool.
a source of heat, with a quick swipe, you manage to pull up a bunch of this fire fern. That's going to be card SP2. And this fire fern seems to be of a slightly better quality than the previous bunch you got. In addition to the familiar hot tag, you also have the luminescent tag.
Ooh, it glows.
This seems to have quite a bit more energy that it's stored up within it, and you can keep as much of that as you'd like.
I like it.
I would like to put some of that in my axe so that it
You do need some more stuff. If you want to just make a quick DL10 herbalism check to powder it up and load your axe, you totally can.
All right. Let's see if I can do that. I rolled low earlier. That's 3 successes. I am good.
With effortless ease, you go ahead and pack this stuff
This
in
is
there.
not boding well for later on.
Let's get all the good rolls out of the way on the fern.
Moreover, you're so efficient as you pack it in here that the end of the axe maintains its luminescent glow.
Ooh.
So your axe is going to be a light source until you trigger the fire effect on it.
All right, sick.
I could follow you around with that.
With my axe?
No, because I can see it from a distance. It's glowing.
Yeah. Yes. Please don't try to cook my axe is all I'm going to ask.
Don't.
I understand it looks like those, but
I want to try to get some of the stuff that's hanging in the air. The bioluminescent
illuminating-
stuff.
The lights?
Yeah.
So at this point, possibly, maybe we'll have Arutha learn about perspective and distance. I don't know. Why don't you go give me a gathering check?
He thinks
Pick whatever
it's
skill
there.
you want, really.
He thinks it's there.
Gonna grab the sun.
if you jump high enough, you'll get it.
I got a 20 and
There is
2
a 20
threes.
in there.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna cost you 2 stamina.
You jump 12 feet in the air.
Thanks to that 20, though, you're gonna gain area of knowledge, depth perception.
Yeah.
And you now understand about parallax, and you understand about the appearance of distances.
Wow, guys, did you know that the stuff in front of you could actually be behind you?
I don't
I don't
think that's quite how that works right there.
I still don't think I know you just got some like things for it, but I don't think you're quite there yet.
You
I
can lead a
love the
horse to
effort.
water, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
but I guess
let me get some of this metal right here, and we'll be on our way.
Alrighty, you can use masonry or metalworking.
I'm gonna go with masonry. I'm going to assume 2 14s is 2 successes.
Yeah, because I think I told you the difficulty of the gathering level was 12, so
Yeah.
yeah, that would totally work. So for a single point of stamina, you're able to pull this rusty scrap up and kind of break off some usable pieces of it. That's going to be SP1. This metal is in pretty rough condition, fairly low quality at this point. However, in order for it to have survived its journey down here, only the toughest pieces really stayed in one place, especially dealing with out here in the elements. So it is very durable. So if you need to go make any kind of metal stuff, this would be a really good base for it.
I don't like metal. It's cold.
I'm sorry. We could heat it up for you if you'd like.
No, we don't have time. We gotta go keep looking.
Yeah, on that. Is there any like sign of like a campfire nearby for this camp that we're looking for?
You don't see
or-
anything about that, and the implication seems to be that it was a fair distance away. But what you do see, give me a search test, actually. Maybe you will see something.
Sure. I'll try. I've got a +0 to that, so.
We'll do difficulty is going to be, it's pretty dark, but you have
I'm
a
glowing.
light source.
Yes.
We'll make it difficulty 12.
Sweet. I'm not blessed, am I?
I don't believe he is. You're blessed.
Let's go. It's 2 successes.
2 successes. So with 2 successes, there's one thing that jumps out to you immediately, and it's really because of your light source, you're able to see this. There's actually a very fine path that's been worn between the pier and that kind of heads off into the distance. This looks like a path that it's actually going out. What you can see as you kind of peer out over the expanse of gloomy, broken, blasted plains is that you nothing really seems to stick out to you, but then you hear something, the wind changes ever so slightly, and you hear very faintly what could only be, it sounds like music? Very, very faint, and it's gone almost as soon as you hear it, but judging from the wind, it would have come similar to the direction of the path, but a little bit off to the side.
I turn to my friends and I'm like, there's a path here, and I believe tunes are just right down that way.
Well, fair
Tunes,
enough.
like books?
Tunes like the jaunty music.
There's jaunty music down here?
How jaunty did this music sound?
Doesn't sound jaunty at all. It sounded it sounded like you caught the barest wisp of it, but it didn't sound happy. It sounded almost soulful, but it was like gone like that.
I misspoke. Melancholic music is just right down the road.
Oh.
And we could join this depressing band, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a energy point for saying weird stuff.
Yes. That one was on accident. That was just Corey talking. That's awesome.
You picked a great character trait, let me just
This
say.
is great.
Well, before we head out, was there anything else around?
Nothing else seems to be around. I mean, plenty around, but it's further out. You're going to have to travel if you want to get to other places.
Yeah, J-Stall, that's how distance works. The stuff's not actually
Oh,
here.
Yeah. You figured that one out real quick, didn't you? Well, let's go on ahead and make our way over there to that jaunty tune you were telling
So
us about.
you move on down the path that is Carvey's lit axe kind of illuminates, and you follow this path for a decent ways. The ambient light is like constantly the same. It is gloomy here all the time, and so you don't really have a good idea of how much time passes. But as you move, you see what appears to be a hut that has been constructed out of like wood and mushrooms, and it seems to be kind of set right off the path. And as you approach, you see the hut, and you see what appear to be like road planters that are completely overgrown with mushrooms. Completely
Ooh.
overgrown. This appears to be a farm of some sort where these mushrooms were cultivated, but it appears to no longer be tended.
Does this mean the mushrooms are ours now?
That means we might want to look around before we go assuming things.
Yeah, we don't. This could be a poison farm of some kind. We want to be sure.
You guys sure do think people mean us harm.
Well, I think that we'd be doing somebody an injustice if we went taking their mushrooms.
Also, the first town we went to had a murder and a zombie, so I feel justified being on edge here.
Okay. Maybe we go knock on the door.
That's more like it.
Do we hear
A
the
little
music,
bit of
you
wasp
said?
hospitality.
No sign of the music coming from here.
Got it.
It like that was like the barest hint of it from a long ways away, and you only heard it because the wind happened to carry it to you.
Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna go branch knock on the door.
You branch knock on the door, and the door, like, you walk up to this thing, and before you even like go to knock on it, like, this place is empty. This place is abandoned. Like, it just has the feel. This place, it looks like no one has lived here for years. And you go and just kind of knock on the door. Dust literally falls off the frame, and the door just kind of creaks inward.
Oh, I think we're all on our lonesome here.
Well, let's take a look around then.
I do advise caution. We're on an island full of criminals, and these are the criminals that didn't want to be civilized.
Okay, guys, I want you to know that if these mushrooms don't implode my pot, we're gonna eat good tonight.
This sounds great.
Bless from Bar Save the Whales. Plant to collect the highest resource, knowledge. Look at that. For learning about how perspective works, Arutha gains a bless.
I am blessed for knowing how the way light works.
You've learned some basics of math.
The illuminated.
Ooh.
But there is no light in here aside from that you bring in with your axe. And you look around, and the area doesn't look trashed. It doesn't look tossed or gone through. It just looks abandoned. There is a bed. The area is covered. There are some cups. There's some clothing. There are what appear to be an empty toolbox. And there seems to be a single torch which has burnt out long ago, sort of laying on the ground. And kind of eerily, as you bring your axe over, you can see some words that have been scraped onto the wall in torch ash. And the kind of moving the axe a bit closer, you can make out it says, dark, too dark, dark for days. Even when I light a torch, it's still dark. Eyes. And the torch is the writing is kind of gotten down to the bottom, and there are no more words.
Oh.
Oh, sounds like someone might have gone blind.
Oh no, he developed cataracts. This is a nightmare.
I will take the remnants of that torch.
It is a burnt down stick. Useful if you want to scribble some charcoal stuff, but probably not for much else unless you want to put some work into it.
Well, I have things I can do to improvise another torch.
There you go.
Do they have anything else around here? Anything like supplies-wise that it looks like they left?
So any supplies that were here that were in any way perishable seems to have rotted away to uselessness. However, you do find what appears to be a locker by the door that held tools of some sort. The locker is sturdy, and when you open it, it's empty. So it seems as though that there should be tools in here, but perhaps the resident took them with them when they left.
But they didn't take mushrooms.
Is there like a table in there like that they would eat at or
Yeah.
anything? Like was that like is there food or like silverware set like as if they were moving in a rush, or does it look like it was they just kind of got up one night and left?
It looks like they're just like at some point, like it doesn't look like any packing was done.
Gotcha.
And there is like a larder where it looks like food would have been stored, but the stuff that's been there has rotted away long ago to the point where it does not even smell anymore. It is like musty, and that's it.
Gotcha.
You don't see any sign of, if this person was going to leave, you're almost positive they would have packed something. If this looks like this was the mushroom farmer and he just went out to work one day, aside from that kind of weird message that's scrawled on the walls.
Okay.
Well, I guess we should try to see what the mushrooms are. I'm really kind of excited about them.
How much you want to bet that's the reason he went blind?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Well, looking up, you kind of can see that there are plenty of rows of mushrooms. Why don't you go ahead and someone give me a search test. It's going to be difficulty level. It's really gloomy, but you've got that light source. So I'm going to say difficulty 14.
Are any of us good at searching?
I am just as good as any of us will be.
All right, go ahead then.
One success.
One success.
That's all we need.
So you look and you can see what appears to be almost like the bottom of a leg or a foot kind of sticking out in the distance from this mushroom planter. And as you move forward, it takes you a little bit to realize it, but these mushrooms that are being grown here, first off, they look very deep. They have this deep green color to them. and almost hypnotic. And as you get close to them, though, you can kind of feel yourself get a little lightheaded. And you realize that one of them has a feeler out, which has laid itself across your foot. And that's the source of it. As you pull the foot away, your head kind of clears a little bit, and the feeler kind of slowly retracts back to the planter. Keeping your distance, you circle around, and you can see that these mushrooms have entirely overtaken the body of what appears to have once been a harvester ant. The harvester ant appears to have been the farmer here. It still has what appears to be a filter mask on around its head. It's wearing a pair of what look like very fine quality gloves, as well as a pack on its back, possibly with some tools in it. But he apparently had at some point fallen into the patch of mushrooms. You can see that his eyes have actually completely grown over with these fungus. The only thing you can assume is that he was so used to working in the dark that he didn't realize it had happened until he lit a torch and realized he couldn't see the light.
Oh,
Yeesh.
we need to leave. Those mushrooms are evil.
Well, if we're going to be doing something here, we might as well take care of them over here. Might get on somebody's good favors around the road.
Do
Never know.
Okay, I agree that it would be good to get rid of them, but what if they use them for something and that's why they were being grown?
Well, at the very least, I'm going to get that body out of there.
Good idea. He's got stuff.
Oh,
So you're going to have to brave these life-leeching mushrooms to get there. So you're going to need to make a resistance test. It's going to be difficulty 16. But if you manage to make it, you're going to be able to get the corpse out.
Can't I just burn them? Can't I just whack them with a mallet?
You're going to try to go and bludgeon the mushrooms?
That's a fire mallet. Hit them enough times they'll crisp.
So, true, but your weapon is a melee weapon. You're going to have to get within range to do it. You could definitely do it. It would work, but you're going to have to put up with trying to overcome these leeching tendrils. You know what's coming this time, so you can kind of brace yourself for it, but there's no, not with a weapon that's that close range, you're not going to be able to stop them all. And I'm afraid your nail gun, though it is ranged, nails at mushrooms aren't terribly effective.
Well, let's just get that body.
Can you fly to it?
Technically, that ain't going to get me out of them mushrooms any faster, though.
All right.
I don't want you to get hurt.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Was it fine?
It was almost fine.
It was almost
So close to
fine.
being fine.
I had a villain point ready for you.
I got a 14.
You got a 14? Well, it's difficulty 16. So
Almost fine.
you go and you
Ouch.
grab this thing, and as you grab this leg and yank, these feelers land on you faster than you thought. It was like they almost shoot out. Like if you've ever seen how fungus solves a maze, you ever seen those videos? It's like that. It's like whoop, just right along the ground, and it swoops up around your leg. Panicky, you manage to yank as fast as you can, and you haul this corpse out and land out, falling down, ripping yourself clear. But your heart is beating in your ears, and you kind of feel yourself start to sweat as your body quickly develops a fever, trying to fight off this infection which is coming.
Uh-oh.
The corpse is free, but you are feeling feverish. So fever is a status effect. First, you're going to lose 2 stamina immediately. And any action that you take is going to cost an extra stamina until you are rest and get treated.
Maybe I could take a look at that when we get a minute, but not here because the mushrooms could eat us while my back is turned.
It definitely seems like they might.
Let's get out of here.
But while you have pulled the corpse away, you do see that you may be able to go pull that gear off of him. You can go ahead and take MF 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Metal face, yeah.
He has in his pack a woven rope as well as a sample of these mushrooms secured in a bag, which seem to be very high quality. And in addition, his gloves seem to be spectacularly well put together. And his filter mask seems to be what is almost essential if you want to work with these mushrooms, these very toxic mushrooms.
It's a rope.
Yep, it's a rope.
Ooh,
You can-
those gloves, though. That's a bit absurd.
Yeah, those gloves, for those of you sitting at home,
I would love
any
those,
in addition to giving you +2 to herbalism, any quality 1 and 2 herb ingredients will count as quality 3 when cooking or crafting, which is huge.
I'll take those if you don't mind. I've kind of got all I've got are tools for herbs, so I would appreciate more.
Well, okay.
It's also another herb tool.
It's also another herb tool.
That's
so.
what I'm saying. More.
You know they don't stack, right?
Oh, do they not?
You got to use one tool or another tool.
I
You
should
can't.
probably
Oh.
take them, and you could take those because I'm just really good at herbalism, and this would make me real good.
Sure. That's all fine then.
I think you should have this rope.
This is. Hang on. let's
Saul
dissect.
Sakahad, he is not.
you get gloves that boost everything, and you give me dirty used rope. This is your trade offer?
I think we're gonna give J-Stall the mask because he likes putting his face in explosions.
Well, you
No,
ain't
that
exactly
the
wrong.
mask was made for J-Stall. We all agree on this.
I'm just saying I'm better at the herb stuff than you are because I'm herby and you're kind of
Say it. Go ahead. Say it.
corally.
He takes a lap. he walks away. Takes a lap around the house. Goes, fine. Give me the stupid rope and the mushrooms or whatever.
The rope's gonna come in handy. Rope always comes in handy.
I use the rope and I tie my chimes around my head. So they're just dangling.
They clatter as you run. The soothing sound of clatter to kind of try to ease your disappointment.
Is this a tool or is this just like a backspace thing?
The rope
Yes.
is an ingredient, but it could very easily be turned into a tool if that tool was basically a rope. So like I mean, you wouldn't even take a crafting check if you wanted to like use it into like, I want this to be a climbing rope. It's like it's already a rope.
Okay, cool.
But
I
if
just
you
wanna
wanted to
know-
like use it as like, I need something to tie up in a bigger thing, then it would also work for that.
I just want to know where in my inventory.
Yep,
Am I throwing this in tools or am I throwing this in backspace?
Going in bag space.
Baller.
I have come to the realization that there's an item on my sheet that is a card from last week that had a bunch of stuff on it that was not written down because we had the card.
Did you not take what is it? Is it the needle reed chimera?
Yeah.
I
Okay, yeah.
have it.
Okay.
It's for you.
I was concerned where this card ended up because I
It-
didn't see it in the pile of cards.
It's right here. I had it the whole time, along with your fishing rod.
Well, yeah, I have this one. I wasn't worried about this one.
But what will you fish with?
What will you fish with? Well, not much here because there doesn't appear to be any water sources nearby with any fish, but there's plenty of life-sucking mushrooms.
I'm okay.
Also, looking around, you do see what seems like some stone formations, which seem to be honeycombed with a very similar fungus. It doesn't appear to be nearly as dangerous as the pure concentrated mushrooms, but it does look like you could carve away the bits of stone with the fungus inside them if you were interested in doing that.
That sounds safer.
It's going to be masonry to go ahead and pull this out.
Oh, I got it.
You're feeling a little feverish. It's going to cost you an extra stamina if you're going to try to push
I think you
yourself.
should stay right there and let me handle it, because I'm going to do it. I'm tall for a tree.
You
Yes.
are you though? Trees get really tall. I don't know. You might be tall for like a wasp.
Arutha's a very nice tree. He's going to go get that fungus.
Okay, go ahead and get that fungus. Is going to be 16 to crack that rock out of the.
You got that. That's nothing.
I don't succeed. I got 2 14s and a 1.
Okay, well that's a 3 stamina, and you find out that you're ill-suited to breaking chunks of stone out of the wall.
Because you said it's difficulty 16, right?
'Tis indeed. It's a rough place. this mushroom farm.
Well, I say we leave this scary place.
I agree. Everything here is just sadness piled on top of more sadness.
Here's a question / idea.
Yeah.
I have a wood mallet with fire ferns on it.
Yep.
And I have a special recipe that calls for 1 wood, 1 metal, and 1 needle reed chimera.
Yep.
Can I use the mallet to make a better weapon since it's
You
wood?
can disassemble the mallet to get its ingredients back. I'll let you do that.
Is that another check, or can I just pop it apart? Because I don't have any of the woodworking tools. Sal Sartot has all of them.
Eh.
Or Sakahad.
So I'm gonna say that you could probably. I'll roll
I have
it.
the torch.
I
have the torch.
That's
a stick.
I mean, it's true. It's true. You do have this torch. I'll say that you can just use your mallet to kind of, I guess, effectively upgrade. You could think of it that way. You just pop the head off, and then you have the shaft,
making
which
a
you can,
different head for the shaft.
Yeah, you could do that. You'll lose the head part, but you can just do that. That's fine if you want to.
Yeah. Do we have any woodworking tools at all?
I think Saul had greedily hoarded every single one of them. Anything that could conceivably be used to make sticks, he went and had all of them, and he didn't share them because then that's business competition.
Mm-hmm.
I am a stick.
Oh, that's fair. Well, this recipe right here, we got all the ingredients for it.
It's true. You have the rusty scrap you picked up. That could be the only thing that you're missing, and it's just a matter of putting it all together.
I'll put it together. I'm feeling pretty good about it right now.
Well, if you don't have any woodworking tools and you don't have any woodworking, because I think it's a woodworking check, is it not?
DC 14.
DC 14 woodworking check to put it all together. Thankfully, the needle reed chimera does most of the work for you.
I'm going to give it a go.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Give it a shot.
Let's see what you can do.
I got 2 19s and a 6.
Oh.
Cudgel.
Wow.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, I mean, wood speaks to wood, and the needle reed chimera finds itself attached to its new home. Roots have kind of spiraled down the shaft, which kind of creates almost like a symbiotic relationship between the wielder and the needle reed. So in addition to...
I just broke off some fingernails.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awful. No. Ugh.
Just say psych right now.
Yeah. You have repurposed this needle reed, no longer being driven crazy by some bad information provided by the murderous spider. You have the needle reed chimera can still draw the life essence out of the enemies that you strike with it and transfer some of it to you if it manages to get a strong enough hold.
Is that going to work good for you, J-Stall?
Oh, absolutely. This is a good old whooping stick right there.
Good.
So,
I did a good deed today.
You did. And I pat you on the back and I go, let's leave the scary mushroom farm.
Okay.
So you'll travel yet again. And again, the gloom is just ever present. You actually find yourself very grateful to have that lit axe that you're carrying around. And as you travel, continuing to move east, again, that sound starts to kind of flow over. And you kind of find yourself almost being drawn to it. It's hauntingly beautiful. And as you crest a hill, you can see what appears to be a sort of squat, stone-ish, and metal building that's been erected. It's sort of round-topped, slightly domed. Seems to be fairly sturdily built. And the in particular, the sound that wafts out of it, it almost sounds like violins and cellos kind of singing this soulful, and it's not mournful as you get close. It's not like this is a dirge. This is almost uplifting. This is a worshipful type of music that sort of is wafting out. And it sounds like if you've ever heard a string quartet or something like that, playing this haunting but just beautiful, soulful melody as you approach this building.
The melancholic music. And I point to it with my axe. That's the home of it.
Oh,
My God, he was speaking the truth.
I thought it was just one of those things you said.
I always say things and they're always right. What do you mean?
Most of the time, the stuff you say doesn't make any sense, but this time you were being literal.
I'm always literal. Everything I say is absolute truth.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Just because the words don't make sense doesn't mean he ain't trying his best to communicate. Some people just a bit addled when it comes to words.
Thank you. Just understands me in my truth-speaking tongue.
I don't know if I'd call it truth speaking. I'd call it word speaking at best.
Word speaking.
I'm hurt. I'm going to the melancholic music now. And he wipes away a tear and walks down towards
That's
the
your
house.
precious water right there. Why are you letting it go?
Oh, shoot. He jumps in. He hard pivots and dives in.
Face plants his face into where his tears hit the dust. Must preserve the moisture. Making your way down the hill, as you get closer to the building, you can actually see that it's not entirely enclosed. It seems to be constructed of pillars, spaced at certain intervals with sort of gaps between them to allow access to the interior. And as you approach, you can see that there are sort of swathed, well, what appear to be sentimen, right? They're moving about with sort of a intellectual purpose, you can tell. And the music seems to be flowing from them. One of the figures who is swathed and robed approaches you and waves up an insectoid hand in a friendly gesture. And as you approach, it raises its hood back to reveal the face of a cricket. In fact, as you hear, this is in fact cricket song. The crickets have actually grown, and they're normally what we know as chirping of crickets is just them rubbing their legs together, similar to vibrating a stringed instrument. But having developed intelligence and being powered by the energy of the elemental winds, they have learned to hone this into a beautiful instrument that is just born in them. And this group of crickets seems to have built a temple here. And they are playing this gorgeous music, which is just floating over the hills.
Wow.
It's our boy Jiminy. Nice to meet you.
Please, welcome, travelers. We've never seen travelers. It's been quite some time at the very least. I'm Kiketa. Welcome to the Temple of the Slumbering Goddess.
You make the most beautiful feet music.
We certainly try, but it's all to the glory of our goddess. If you would like, certainly you're welcome to rest here.
Wow, that would be really nice. I could make something nice for you and your goddess. What does she like to eat?
Oh, please. Your worldliness should be saved for yourselves. All the sleeping goddess requires is a song from your homelands, and you will be welcome to stay.
I chime. I hit both of my chimes at the same time.
He's ready.
Prepared
for this. He's been
I was
preparing.
born for this. This is home.
Stall, you're feeling that fever is not broken yet. You're still a little bleary-eyed. The exertion doesn't seem very good to you. And Kiketa kind of looks at you a bit and says, "Oh, it seems as though your friend isn't feeling very well. Please, stay here and rest, and prepare whatever food or any types of whatever medicines you can to help him. If you don't have anything on hand, perhaps the surrounding plains can offer you some." And she'll gesture out to what looks to be a patch of golden stars, just kind of just in a nook at the base of a hill. But upon peering at it closer, you can see them almost move slightly in the wind. These are flora.
You got anything for evil mushrooms?
Yeah, I went digging around in a patch of mushrooms and it didn't exactly turn out the best.
Yes. We heard about that. Apparently some while ago. Those mushrooms are dangerous that were being grown there, and it seems the farmer, he got careless.
Just wearing his gas mask. Yeah, we found him. Poor thing.
We're sorry if he was a friend.
Well, it's been quite some time, and we knew of his passing. He was fair enough, devoted to his work, but I understand that harvester ants, they're all about returning to nature through the mushrooms they cultivate, so perhaps it was an end he would have chosen.
If you say so, Maybe the gold stuff will help J-Stall.
You know for a fact this is probably not what this ant wanted to have happen.
That's why he hesitated and decided not to push it any further.
You are welcomed in. So when it comes to trying to treat the fever condition, first off, they'll need to rest. But secondly, medicine constructed of hot ingredients or invigorating ingredients can actually be used to break the fever.
I have fire fern.
Yeah, we
can
got
make
some spicy.
You can make a medicine out of that. So I remember we had what's the difference between medicine and surgery? Surgery is for stitching up wounds, and medicine is for doing what you're trying to do right now, which is brew up some healing tonic.
Yeah, I want to take a look at them flowers first, see what they can do.
Yeah, let's go take a look at the flowers.
Fire
Sure.
ferns are pretty valuable, but those flowers might be spicy too.
Maybe. So you'll take a peek out, and you can see a couple of things that kind of catch your eye. There are, for one thing, the first thing that you catch actually is this brilliant-looking flower that seems to have kind of opened up, almost like what are those flowers? It looks like a
Orchid?
hibiscus, but it has like a trumpet on the inside.
A trumpet flower?
Are those just called trumpet flowers?
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
never heard of this flower before in my life.
The little purple guys, when you sniff them, they clamp on your nose.
What?
I think we're talking about different plants.
That's a trumpet flower.
That's a
Let's
Venus
just-
flytrap.
Let's just call it hibiscus. It looks like a golden hibiscus, is what it looks like, and it is it is glowing with this very bright light. Coming off of it, actually, there are a number of what appear to be shards of stone in the. That's actually a really good one. Right
Yeah,
there.
they when you sniff it, it goes.
That's not what they do. No.
It does.
They fight back?
No,
That's
if you
a
put your nose
trumpet.
in there and you sniff, the vacuum created from you inhaling will make it like clamp on your
Okay,
nose.
all
Oh,
right.
this
The
is not the-
vacuum create. Yeah, okay. So
not the
you know,
flower
like
itself.
if you clamp your nose around it and inhale, it shrinks down
it'll
from the
just-
air pressure.
Yeah, if you snort a flower, it's gonna get a little weird. Like,
If I snort water, it just
They
goes
smell
up
really
my
good.
nose.
Yeah.
I love how the visual image we all had in our heads has completely changed as we get more information.
When
Everything's
you snort
different
the
now.
flower, it just.
Have you ever spoken to this man before? That's just what he does to words.
All right, let's go into the logics and the dynamics of rolling d20s.
Let's do that. The light from the star flowers flicker off of these what appear to be chips of stone that seem to be translucent, but also kind of catch and refract the light around. In addition, what you can see is that there's also, you don't really see it at first, but you smell it. There's this herb which seems to be growing on the
smells
on the
like an herb.
rocks. It's a sort of it's a moss, and my God, does it stink! It stinks something awful.
Oh, it's like
But it does appear that there are some of the wild critters have actually nibbled away at some of it.
well, sometimes stuff that smells bad tastes really good.
Possibly. The other possibility is it might just literally be the only edible thing around here. So.
Based on the lack of food tags we found so far, that sounds very reasonable.
Yeah, probably.
Let's take a look.
So what you guys want to do?
I want to try to get that flower.
Get the flower?
I want to take a nap.
You want to take a nap? Probably a good idea. You want to do anything?
well, they got that covered. I'll talk to the dude, I guess, more. Kind of figure out the town a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me an herbalism test to try to go harvest enough of this star flower. It's going to be difficulty 14.
I'm at a +4.
Oh, because you've got +2 herbalism, and now you have the gloves. +4, that's it. That's the magic max out for Sentima. Well done.
I got a 20, a 1, and a 2, but there's a 20 in there.
It's a partial success. That's what we call. What's what we call that? All right, so 2 stamina later, you are able to gather enough of this stuff together, and one thing you're able to find is a sort of a burst of a pocket of yellow energy kind of swarms over you all as you break this one little section out. You're each going to get an energy point from that. And you managed to gather enough star flowers. That's going to be card SP7. And you notice that this has the regenerative tag. And while certainly a useful bit of medicine, and the fact that it's also luminescent, it does give off its own light, is unfortunately not going to work for the fever. You're going to have to probably use a fire fern to brew up some medicine.
That's okay, because I have something even better than that. It's pollen time.
So it's not just like the pollen won't cure everything. It'll
It's
help with
gonna help,
surgeries,
though.
but it will help with the medicine check to brew the energy by brew the tonic.
That's what I want to do. I'm going to use the fire fern and I'm going to add my love and branches and all the flowers that come off me when I molt.
And molting with overflowing with the green energy that you unleash, you're going to get +4 to go and craft this tonic.
I'm very invigorating.
Go ahead and give me an herbalism test, because that's what this is. You're working with herbs. Herbalism test to make this healing tonic, and it's going to be difficulty level. I think it's going to be 12, actually.
So I'm going to take the fire fern and I'm going to take the little buds off of it so that I just have the hot thing. And then I'm going to take some of the branches and the leafy stuff that it's left over, and I'm going to kind of pound it down to sort of get it into a paste so that I can put it on the roof of his mouth. That way, if he can't swallow or he's feeling nauseous, it'll just soak into his little bug mouth.
Well, that sounds like 0 research point cost to me. Well done for describing that.
Just absorbing it through the gums.
Oh, by the way, it is going to cost 5 research points to build that needle reed cudgel, by the way. Because it is
Not
a
a
I've
special
got them.
item.
Okay, dog. We all have plenty.
I think I've used 2 this whole game.
You guys are good at describing stuff. So, you're good at describing stuff. You don't spend the research points. You can, by the way, just as a reminder, if there's just something you just want to know, you can spend a research point and be like, what do I know about this? And I can just go tell you stuff.
So with my bonus, that's a 10, a 13, and a 20. So that's 2 successes.
2 successes. So 1 stamina down, and you have concocted a medicine with which to treat your friend.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to use the pollen, and I'm going to kind of sit there with J-Stall, and I'm going to sing him a nice little tree song, and I'm going to use the paste in his mouth. And I'm
Go
gonna
ahead and
tell
give
him
me a medicine
not to
test.
spit it out.
It goes in your mouth, and it is hot. Like, you're already sweating from this fever.
I like boom whiskey. This
It
ain't
is
nothing.
like it is. I mean, you're definitely out fevering the fever here.
Oh, what's the difficulty?
With that medicine, I think it's going to be 10.
Oh, then that's going to be 2 successes.
Great. So you've got that's a one stamina down, and interestingly enough, because the medicine is so hot, your metabolism doesn't have to work as hard. And within as you rest here, accompanied by the peaceful melody of the cricket song,
Am I actually resting?
you're gonna have to actually rest.
Okay,
Yes.
because I have a bedroll.
The temple itself is well sheltered and comfortable. It is rest 10, so way better than any bedroll you're carrying around with yourself.
Okay, we're resting.
Tasty. My 1 stamina point.
You can go and cook food if you want to, but you don't have to. You can just rest
No,
if you want to.
Let's just rest.
Okay.
Can I use a research point to
No.
see what I know about the temple, about the sleeping goddess that they worship?
Yeah. So you spend you spend a research point, and you kind of talk to him a bit, and kind of think about different types of what you know about crickets and cricket kind and things of this nature. This isn't like a cricket goddess. This isn't like a cricket cult or religion. This seems to be kind of like their thing that they've done here. The sleeping goddess is a sort of, it's not a like, we have to sing to keep the goddess asleep kind of thing, but it's similar. So the sleeping goddess is the goddess of change. So the way that the crickets tell it to you, and the way that you've heard it, is that the sleeping goddess is the one who oversees the change of what happens. And so the sleeping goddess isn't like looked at as a force of destruction or a force of, of goodness or anything like that. She oversees the transition. And looking around, you can actually see a lot of dawn and dusk kind of motifs that are carved into the temple. The transition of day to night, that is her domain. is the domain of changes of different states. The hope is from the cult of the sleeping goddess is that she can be placated with songs, lulled to sleep, and kept that way and appeased so that she does not impose change. And so the sleeping goddess is sometimes called upon by crickets. Sometimes they'll play a discordant song to draw her attention if times are bad, the hope being that she can go ahead and change the situation for the better. In this situation, it appears the crickets are fairly happy with their situation because they are playing the song with the hopes that the goddess will stay asleep. They're playing these soothing songs so that they can maintain the status quo, which makes sense if you're living on an island that's threatened to collapse into the maw. It's like, maybe change is a bad thing for me right now. Let's calm down. That appears to be kind of the way it's going. And so it's not like this particular cult only exists here. Like, it does exist elsewhere, kind of like as almost more like a cultural touch point. Not so much like, we all go and worship here, but sort of like throwing salt over your shoulder kind of situation. It has actually developed into a full-fledged cult here.
Sweet. Okay, so superstition normally, but this is definitely a little
taken
sus.
to the nines. It's kind of been gone up here, but the crickets here all seem very nice.
Yeah.
And
most cults are pretty cool at first, and then and then you start having to talk to them a little bit more, and you're like, wait a minute,
that's a little weird.
I have to do what?
You have to sing a song from your homeland. So why don't you all, each of you, tell me the type of song that you are going to offer up to the sleeping goddess.
Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care.
Well, Jimmy crack corn is what you're singing. Very nice.
Old McDonald.
That's horrific.
E-I-E-I-O.
Arutha is going to sway from side to side, and with the counterpoint of his branches and the leaves that they make, he'll actually kind of just intone a hum that will change pitch depending on how the wind flows through his branches, and he'll make of the wind and his branches and the flowers music that he sings along with.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay. And what's Carvey going to do?
Carvey asks if he could borrow some wine glasses, and then he'll pour water in them, and then just lightly put his finger on it and just go around the rim of each one, and he'll do the cup song with the wine glasses.
Sure. This isn't really the place to find like finely worked, well-preserved glass.
He just needs one.
He's
good.
We'll say you managed to work something out. The crickets seem very pleased with your your offerings, and once your rest is over, you feel rather invigorated a bit and ready to continue your journey. And you are free of your fever, good sir.
Yeah.
Woo.
You're looking much better, J-Stall.
Yeah, but while we're still here, I want to know what that moss is. If we're going to only have one food source, we need to bring it with us.
Kiketa will actually say, where are you going, by the way?
There's a camp somewhere by a bunch of bones, I believe, and we have to kind of just, we were told just to visit it.
Strider camp.
Strider camp.
I'm glad you all remembered what we were doing.
Something about a ship, yeah.
Yeah, there's a ship, and I believe they're trying to repair it.
Oh, certainly. Well, that's a bit... You're not too terribly far away. You just have to cross the next valley, but do be careful. It's a terribly benighted place. A terrible evil lurks there, so do be cautious in your travels.
What kind of evil?
It is a great monster, and certainly no one has stayed around to get a good look at it.
Oh.
But hopefully, if you can make your way across and avoiding notice...
Okay, we should be sneaky then.
What is your religion's relationship with this camp? Are you guys, do you parlay? Do you have trade between each other? Do you just try to stay out of each other's business?
Well, they rarely come here. Occasionally, someone will go there, and sometimes they'll come back, but not always. But we don't really know much about each other. The valley is rather foreboding, but beyond that, we are content with our lot, and we pray to the sleeping goddess that she sees fit to keep it that way. But the efforts of those over at the wreck, if they will bear fruit if the goddess deems it so. And as she says this, the wind kind of changes suddenly as the architecture of the temple catches it oddly. And a discordant note kind of goes through the chorus, startling some of the performers who drop their rhythm. They startle a bit before kind of getting back into the rhythm and picking it back up. Kiketa kind of notices it and looks startled a bit and blinks.
Is that your goddess sending a message?
Calms down. Mayhaps she is. It seems as though if this is a sign, then this camp that we're discussing, something is about to change there.
Oh. I guess we should go see what it is, huh?
Do be careful.
Do y'all know what that moss out there is good for?
You can eat it if you can stand the smell. We eat it quite frequently, but it's not to most people's taste. We've gotten used to it, though.
I'll take some. Is it okay if I borrow some to cook with?
Oh, harvest it, please. Don't worry on us.
I'm gonna go see if I could get some.
Sure. It's gonna be difficulty 14, herbalism, to go gather some.
The fact that she told us what it is and how it works make it any easier?
It doesn't, but it will get you research points.
Woo!
A research point apiece.
Earned it back.
Wow, that is a 1, a 2, and a 3.
We're counting up. We'll get there eventually.
You go and pull this moss off, and as you break it, you've been kind of putting up with the smell as you get close to it, and you break it, and the absolute rotting smell hits you in the face like a cudgel, and
I got one of those.
Retch. And you're heaving a bit. You have to stagger away. You have to kind of get yourself under control, and you're like, eyes watering a bit. Oh my god, that was literally the most vile stuff you've ever encountered.
You've got the mask. Maybe that will help.
I got this mask on. I can't smell it. I will definitely borrow one of the two plus 2 tools.
Yes.
My axe.
You
have my axe.
The axe, huh? Okay, the mask. All right, yeah. It's not really what the mask is for, but I'll say it definitely helps.
That's 3 successes.
That mask is great.
The mask is what you needed, man.
A 14,
Puts his mask on, ties
a
it down,
15, and a 20.
checks the air seal, and walks up. De-dum.
As you're just driving behind him.
And you've got yourself a. By the way, if anyone at home is wondering what a decent thing to go pick up is just to have in your house, may I suggest a P100 respirator. You don't always need it, but man, there are times you are so grateful to have it. Cutting onions? I don't know if it's going to help with cutting onions. That's kind of a goggles thing.
Get
If
your
you do that,
eyes,
and if
yeah.
you wear some swimming goggles,
What
and
number
you're
is
good.
it?
Oh, it's going to be SP6.
Ooh. This is... it smells bad, but it could be so tasty.
That's Q3 moss right there.
It shouldn't be.
We have gloves that make it Q3.
Oh gosh, you're right. I forgot about that. It's an herb, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an herb. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got those gloves, man. You could go and work them. You've got ghosts in your
Is
song.
it called sand moss? What is it called?
It is called sand moss because generally that's kind of the color of
It's
it.
what it does to your
And
nose.
yeah, and no one
Sandpaper.
really wants to get any closer to try to get it a better name. So sand moss is what it is.
So I had an interesting idea.
Oh boy.
It is no boy. So the
Stinky tag.
needle reed cudgel
Yeah.
on a second attack
Mhm.
lets me convert that attack to stamina on successes rolled.
Correct. Yeah. So what you do is you hit him first. That makes contact, and then your second attack, instead of doing damage, you can draw energy out of them.
we have gotten our hands on some Q3 mushrooms that are also leeching.
Yep.
With one of my herbalism buddies here, can we attach those mushrooms to the cudgel to change its special ability to be every attack that hits costs 1 less stamina?
This is a big brain move over there.
I mean, it is regenerative.
It's regenerative and leeching moss.
And would look cool.
Or mushrooms.
Would look really cool.
So I see you're trying to kind of build it into the needle read. I'm probably going to say not that, but you could build a new weapon with the mushrooms that could go and do something along those lines. You'd have to get at least 2 successes.
See, that's why I want to build it into the already Q4 weapon.
But
Yeah, I know what you want to
Yeah.
do. But like the thing is, like, I don't know that you're making a Q4 weapon better. Like,
That's better.
huh?
That's better.
That's my point. Is it's better. It's like
Well-
this is literally the top tier weapon. Q4, you don't get any better than Q4.
what if we took one of the barbecue sticks and used that?
That'd be a fine base. You could use that if you want to. You can make it like a leeching spear.
A leeching spear.
Yeah, I'd let you do that. That'd be like you could go and use the barbecue stick and then kind of build a head onto it.
head
of these
onto it.
leeching mushrooms kind of thing. I'd let you do that.
That's something to think about. We're gonna need a couple more ingredients for it, but I got an idea.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
What other ingredients do we need? I've got random junk.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking we're gonna need something as a base, like something to stabilize it, because we're putting something way heavier on the head now that was ever meant to be there. If we want the weapon
mushrooms?
to be balanced on the other end, because the other end is just a stick. It's just a barbecue thing. It's not like we're putting a mushroom on the end. It's just gonna be a big bonking thing.
Okay. All right. So something to balance balance the weight of the
weight
stick.
of the stick.
Okay.
I took some of that scrap metal. We could just put that at the end of it.
Okay, that'll be a good counterbalance.
All right. Sounds good. And you've got that woven rope to tie it all together, I
We
guess.
do.
Yes. This means I get the stick. I want dibs if I have to use my only rope.
Yes.
This is my brand.
This will be your stick.
This is awesome. I have a stick too. We can just use my stick.
Alrighty. So you've got a bunch of combined stuff here. Let's see here.
Highest is Q3.
Huh?
The highest is Q3. The mushroom.
Yep. The mushrooms are Q3. So we can go ahead and give me a goodness gracious.
17.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be weaving because you're gonna try to tie everything together. Anyone have any weaving stuff?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I look at my cricket. I look at our new cricket friend, and I go, "Do you have any way of weaving?
We are simple folk and live a simple life.
You've weaved these hoods. You've had to have had a loom.
We found
at some
them.
point.
That is the first trait of this temple. You have to find your own robe in the wilds.
All right, we're raw dogging this, boys. Let's go at it.
This is going to be difficulty 17.
Oh boy.
But
I'll do it. It's my stuff.
Yeah.
It's my risk. I'm willing to take. All right.
I believe in you.
Are we sure it's not fishing? Or like, do you want to double check?
I like how you picked the only skill that is so obviously not right.
I got a 17 on the
This
die.
man got
He
one.
did it.
Boom.
And a 12 and a 6, but that's 117.
So for 2 stamina later, and you've actually put this stuff together. You've made use of the mushroom that you put on the edge, these life leeching hyphae that kind of wrap around the tip, the steel tip with the kind of you carve out some of the rusty bits to make channels for these hyphae to grow in, and the rest of the mushroom is kind of stretched down the haft to lead back to you. And you're going to have a spear, which is going to be a quality 3 green weapon. That's going to, on at least 2 successes, will refund you a stamina.
I'm gonna call it the flungus
What's
because you throw it.
I don't think you do throw it. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is a reach melee weapon. Yep.
Okay, 2 questions.
Yep.
Does it still have the cooking tool aspect
I'm
of it?
fairly certain that you would like poison any food you tried to spear with this.
Cool.
It
So
would
we're
just
going to
eat the
remove
food
that
while
from
you're
my
trying to
skill
cook
sheet.
it.
And then it still has reach, or
Still has reach.
Sweet. So it's 2 successes. It leaches a stamina point.
Correct.
Sweet.
I'll trade you a tier 4 for it.
Listen, man, I used my rope. I had like 2 things to my name, and both of them are in here.
And it is going to be a green weapon, and it's going to be quality 3 will get you the stats of that from that a nifty little chart, which tells you what a quality 3 green weapon does.
We have a chart?
We have a chart.
Somebody has
It's
the
on
chart.
your
It's supposed to be
third
behind my
page.
screen, but it's not because I didn't think to put it there. But that's
Is-
okay because we're coming up on break right now.
Sweet,
It's
I'll
an
look it
excellent
up.
time to do it as we leave our friends having found themselves yet richer moving across this blasted landscape with the omen of change echoing in their ears. Don't go away. Be right back. Yubi's Adventure. Check out their website and their Kickstarter while we're on break. See you back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Sentima Sundered Wilds, sponsored by Yubi's Adventure. Go ahead, check out their website, check out their Kickstarter right below. See the fruits of this new system coming out with this great adventure that we're running right now.
You
I
too
see
could have
that,
your very own nail gun.
Make your own very own nail gun if you can convince your trail guide to let you have it. Which, you know, maybe he made a good case to me. He was kind of like, I got this handful of nails. Can
And
I
a
make a
gun."
nail gun? Probably like the greatest, like, you know, I've got this seemingly inconsequential like item. What can I make out of it? And it's like a thing that shoots these things.
If you get that musket, you could have a nail sniper.
No, blunderbuss.
Oh, even better.
Load it full of spoons and nails.
Spoons.
Spoons, specifically spoons.
Not forced
That's gonna be
knives, the
some
other
loot
sharp
you find,
ones.
by the way, is a bag of spoons.
I have a utensil tail.
Utensil tail. Speaking of which, we did in fact overlook a conversation happening in chat here, which says the food tag's still there, even after something is poisoned with your poison leeching mushroom spear.
So I can eat my spear.
You could. It would just lose stamina instead of like gaining it.
But think of the story.
Yeah, that's the important
Think
thing.
of it.
Technically, if you're thirsty, any liquid will satiate your thirst.
So where were we going on this path that we were on?
Yeah. On that note,
Before we try drinking mercury.
Please, dear God.
No, you wouldn't be thirsty anymore.
I mean, it's true. Be the least of your concerns very shortly. The song of the crickets sort of sees you off as you leave the temple, moving your way with your brand new enhanced mushroom stabby spear.
Yes. Tears of the Kingdom showing its influence on me.
You with your, complaining about your rope and look what it turned into. It's all about the journey is what it is. And you make your way across over the hills and into the next valley. This valley is immediately feels different. This place is threatening almost immediately.
This place feels mighty threatening.
Immediately, yes.
I feel like I'm in immediate danger.
This area is not just gloomy, but it is oppressive. There are shadows. The area is littered with broken stone, and again, those little pockets of shining lights appear. Apparently, quite frequently here. It seems that this area is fairly abundant in resources, but people don't come here for some reason. And as you're kind of moving along, you manage to catch sight of something that looks a bit different. This is an area that's almost been is both flattened out and also a gathering of a great amount of scrap. It almost looks like a gigantic nest but a huge scaled nest. Like walking through it, it's like a collection of junk that has been set into this rough bowl-like shape. This almost like dish that you could
We're in a stir fry.
theoretically stir fry something in. But what also catches your eyes, there's a cave kind of set back. In front of this cave appears to be a pool that seems to be teeming with some sort of life. But in the cave itself is something glimmering, something that seems to strike you as being familiar yet very special.
Guys, that cave is farther away than we think it is. Those lights aren't in front of us.
You're almost there. You're so close.
I reckon let's take a few steps closer, see what happens.
Can we just...
Bet you that cave's gonna look a little bigger.
Okay.
The wonders of perspective being what they are.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. As you approach, you can make out, there is a, this light that you caught, this glimmer, appears to be emanating from this bluish purple stone, which is not far from being embedded into the wall of the cave, appears to be free floating in the middle of the cave. This looks like a core stone deposit. The rare mineral which is at the heart of all of Sentima's floating islands and is in fact the only thing that keeps the islands in the sky, is this core stone deposit. And you have found a cave with a deposit in the cave within easy access.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna be here for a while. I need a lot of this.
As you set down, clacking your mandibles greedily, you hear a slight thud, which seems to be... It seems to be louder than you would think you should have it.
Is that
because
real?
it sounds far away. A glimpse out of the corner of your eye, and you will see a figure rising over the crested hills. And it rises and rises and rises. It is massive.
Is that as big as I think it is, or is it just really far away?
It is massive,
Both.
threatening, and horrendously grotesque. Many pairs of legs bear this narrowed thorax spider-like creature over the wall. Many sets of clacking mandibles roll up and down its face, but perhaps most horrifyingly is a nest of eyes which seem to look in different directions. And it sort of moves over, perches at the top of the hill, and then to just add to the horror, opens wide its largest set of mandibles, and a large pale worm extends, kind of flopping this way and that. And at the same time, some of its eyes have smaller worms that stick out as well. The worm, major worm, kind of yanks in the direction of the cave, and almost puppet-like, the body is twitching and starts to step in that direction. And as it steps towards you, its eyes all focus at the same time on the three of you, right at the edge of its nest. And a sort of gurgling, what might have once been a roar, but is more of a gurgling protest, kind of echoes out from it, and it starts to pick up the pace and move towards you.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Bang!
Well,
I tried.
We should run,
Oh,
right?
Put that on your
yeah.
epitaph. He tried.
We're gonna run.
You start breaking into a fast run, heading for the hills. I'm going to need an athletics check out of every single one of you.
Oh.
The ground is rocky, and it is slow going. Difficulty is going to be 12.
Well, can I burn an energy point to use my wings to help boost me along?
Sadly, you're at the base of a valley, so no, you may not.
I'll flutter them to go a little faster.
Flutter him to go a little faster. That sounds like something very athletic that you're trying to do.
Yeah, for a +1 on my check.
No, I'm sorry,
For an
no.
energy point?
I
got a 15 and a 13.
15 and a 13.
I got 2 5s and an 11.
I got a 17, a 6, and a 2. So I got a success.
Single success. So as Carvey kind of builds up some momentum, A villain point is going to be spent, and
dude.
the leg of this behemoth comes down, and the ground almost heaves underneath you. And we need to re-roll those 2 successes.
Just the 2 or all
Just
3?
the 2.
Okay. It's fine. That's a 17 and an 18.
And
17
he
on the same
rolls
dice.
with it and keeps going. A single stamina.
I surf that wave.
And I'm afraid that Arutha is going to have to reroll her single success as the ground heaves and shudders underneath her.
I'm not a her, I'm a tree.
Fair enough, under the tree.
Under them.
That's a 2.
Well, it's nice knowing you.
Thrown to the ground with Stall, 3 stamina points. You find yourself scrambling on your feet as much as possible. That failure, you are going to barely make it to the edge of the nest before the massive bulk of this behemoth plunges in on the opposite side, chasing after you. A single more point of stamina is going to have to be spent by the both of you as you are chased out of the nest. Thankfully, this thing could almost assuredly overtake you if it chose to, but it seems content to guard its nest area, and it hovers very protectively, not over the cave, but over the pond in front of it that you saw with lots of movement going on in it. And it kind of roars out one of those gurgling challenges to you as you run as fast as you can over the hills.
Maybe it has babies in the lake.
Was that thing being puppeted? Was that like a parasite in it, or is that just the thing itself?
I don't
I
know.
ain't got a clue.
I don't have. I would have stopped to take a closer look, but I was gonna get eaten.
That's fair. Things got a little freaky there for a minute.
But maybe we could come back later for the core stone. Once we got bigger.
I don't know if we'll get quite at kaiju level like that thing was, but
You know what might be a good idea? The ballista that was going to be used to shoot down a boat.
Oh.
It could shoot down a big old spider thing.
You're
true.
right.
Talking about Spikehead? Ballista! We'll blow it up!
It could.
we just hear his cackle in the
You just
distance.
hear his cackle all the way from Haven. It echoes.
We should keep going for now, though, because I don't want that thing anywhere near us.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And indeed, this massive behemoth curled up on its nest, challenging you. You wisely decide it would be best for you to leave. Rounding the hill, you move off into another plane, and you can see very clearly in the distance the crashed wreck of the ship that you know of as the Courser. It is pushed into the ground, and it appears to have crashed in a fairly controlled manner. The ship is still vaguely ship-shaped. Not ship-shape,
No.
ship-shaped.
Yeah, that one.
It has skidded a great deal, a great length along the plane here. It looks in awful shape. There are patches of it missing that appear to have been patched with mushrooms and wood. And from a distance, you can see a camp that's been set along outside it, bustling with activity. Absolutely bustling. There are lights everywhere. And apparently they have found out the secrets to tame the luminescent fungus of the surrounding plains, and they have built themselves a sea of light in this gloomy expanse. And the wreck of the Courser itself is lit up with spotlights.
Oh gosh. I was gonna make them something, and I didn't have time. I could try to make it now, but...
I don't think we have time. I think...
We'll make it down there if they need it.
Okay.
You will approach the camp, and the area seems to be fairly secure. There aren't walls or anything around here, but you're immediately noticed as you come in. And there are one thing that you seem to notice in particular is this camp is almost entirely comprised of spiders and wasps, and no one else.
Oh.
Well, at least we have one wasp with us.
Hey, boys! Nice to meet you!
Oh, no. This is my actual hell.
They all talk like that, every single one of them.
We get new audio fixed, and now everybody's suddenly screaming.
You
We're putting this new audio to the test.
But as you
That's
as
how
you
we found
approach,
it. We heard them from a distance.
as you approach, you're approached not by the wasps, but a pair of spiders kind of glide up to you fairly quickly. Ah, newcomers.
Hi.
Yes.
I'm Arutha.
We got sent by the lady of the city back there. Come and give you boys a hand.
I'm here to cook for you.
Haven, is it?
That's right.
They tend to want nothing to do with us, but that's not for us to decide. Please, let us bring you to Kasich. He is our leader, and he will go ahead and decide how best to proceed. Please, come this way.
All right.
Just follow along.
Does he like casserole?
The two spiders flank you and guide you into the camp. One thing you notice almost immediately is that there are a number of wasps that stop what they're doing and look at you being escorted by the spiders, and they kind of whisper to each other, and a number of them peel off and move into the camp in a different direction than you're going.
Oh, they don't like the smell of you.
Well, they're going to have to get used to it right there.
You're carried through the camp, and the camp seems to be kind of divided into roughly 4 sections that are separate and distinct. There's 2 shared areas. You see like a mess tent, you see an aid station, and there are what appears to be a spider enclave, and then there's a wasp enclave that you're rapidly moving further and further away from.
So you mean that there's a black widow nest and a giant paper wasp nest?
I mean, hopefully not, no.
Maybe I could be the branches between them and unite the clans.
I love the sentiment. I don't think we're here to quite do that. I don't think we have time to get into the geopolitics of this place.
Well, you're
Combo
ushered
Hokage.
into an area that looks like it's set up with a large set of meteorological and navigation equipment, actually. This place looks quite advanced and well set up, although it is rather ramshackle just from what they had to put it together with. But the spider folk here all seem to be looking at various types of instruments, making notes. They all take note of you when you come in and start kind of whispering to each other. You might be able to make out things like, oh, outsiders, maybe them, they could break the stillness. Yeah, they could do that, perfect, kind of thing. Well, Kasich is wise, kind of thing.
Do those help you see where stuff actually is and not where the light makes you think it is?
Yes.
Points at one of the instruments.
That's a unique way to put it, but
Wow.
But yes, we should talk later. You seem to have an insight about these sorts of things. You could make a good pilot.
I've learned.
Basic depth perception.
Yeah, put her behind a wheel. They're ready.
One thing you do notice around these machines is at regular intervals, there is a red painted locker with a pressurized canister in them with a valve. And the words over it are emergency coolant spray. Normally something like this would be behind glass and you have to break the glass to get at it. It looks like they just don't have the glass there and they grab the coolant spray and use it when they need it. And in fact, while you are being led through the workshop, one of the, I guess it would be sort of like an astrolabe that appears to be powered by a small energy battery. Steam starts to come out of it, prompting a quick grab and a spray down before they manage to start tinkering with it again.
J-Stall, you should have one of those.
It wouldn't be too difficult to freeze myself with it, but explosions happen a little too fast for something like that to be useful.
Okay.
You are ushered into what appears to be an office. It's, again, quite ramshackled and put together, but there is a desk here with lots of papers and notes are kind of scattered around it. And across from you is what appears to be the leader of the spiders.
Does she wear a little sign that says, I'm the leader of the spiders?
Well, as a matter of fact, there is a small little desk sign that says, I am the leader of the spiders. I also have a name. I just have to go ahead and find it on my notes here. Here it is. Welcome, new faces. I am Kasich. I am the leader of this camp. Of the navigators here at the very least. Tell me, who are you? Where do you come from?
Well,
I'm Jay Stahl, technically from Haven at this point.
Haven, interesting. Those of Haven tend not to have much interest in our efforts out here. You've come quite a long way.
We're new in town, and we're just kind of visiting, seeing our options. You know, looking where to plant our root. We have a businessman that's normally here with us, and he's looking to where to set up shop.
Perhaps you haven't quite given up on escaping this island like those fools back at Haven have, I take it.
That's the spirit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were sent here and unlawfully imprisoned. We didn't do anything wrong.
No, of course. None of us did. None of us did. Some of us did. But certainly, I can see that you're all fine folk, and we're clearly unjustly framed.
We
we're
disagreed with the
covered in
wrong
weapons.
person.
I'm just
We disagreed with the wrong person. They decided this was a good fit for us.
I'm just a chef.
Well, I'll tell you what. That wreck of the Courser is more salvageable than people give it credit for. Look,
Have you found the core stone?
It's in rough shape, and I suspect the core stone is probably an issue. But what's most important is the elemental energy engine that powers that thing. It's been here a while, but the engine is at the heart of the ship, and it's in rough shape most certainly, but those things were built to last. It probably just needs some repairs. If you can get in there and fix that engine, that could be the way forward. The ship would be salvageable. The superstructure, all of this, it's all repairable. It's entirely fixable. All we have to do is get the engine fixed, make sure the core stone is intact, and then the Courser can fly again, and we can have our way out of here. The only issue is those hot-headed neighbors of ours. Fine mechanics, the lot. We're here working together for it. We need their help to build to repair the ship. They need our help to pilot it. But they would not see to such a thing. They would rather start afresh and build a whole new ship, which is foolish. We have a perfectly fine... All right, it's not fine, but it's serviceable. It's a perfectly serviceable ship. We can't waste time building a brand new ship when we can just make this one fly again. If you can go and make your way into that wreck and fix the engine, that would be the impetus that we needed, and it would break the stalemate. I would send my own people in there, but there's no telling what those wasps would try while our camp was weakened.
I reckon we could go take a peek at it.
Yeah,
Worst thing that's going to happen is it's already messed up and we can't do anything.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. If that engine's beyond repair, then, well,
We
there's...
could always salvage it and put it together in a new one if that does happen to be the case. And then the wasps be right and you just help them.
Well, hopefully not. That's last resort.
Well-
We have to go and fix that engine.
Do you have any ingredients or anything useful that we could take in there for repairs?
Well, it's hard to say exactly what will be needed, but from what we've been able to see, what we'll want is, and kind of reaches over to the side and puts a couple of cooling tanks, cooling sprays on the desk. Go and take these. That engine very well might get hot while you're working on it. Likely it's just a matter of sealing the casing. There should be some insulating ingredients on that ship still. If you can pry some of that off the walls, that should give you the edge you need to go ahead and make sure that engine is sealed and functional.
So what you're saying is we should cannibalize other parts of the ship to fix the engine?
Absolutely. The engine is most important. There is one other complication. There are a nest of plum snouts, vicious parasites, as well as skitterers, also quite vicious, and not even parasites, just angry wildlife. The entire ship has been taken over. But they have two nests. If their nests are gone, they'll leave to find safer places. You'll need to deal with those nests on the way down there, and I can give you some poison to help with them. And she'll put 2 bottles with an injector tip on the top.
Okay, I don't like poisoning stuff. It's kind of mean, but I'll do it if it means getting off this rock.
Absolutely.
Sounds
I
good.
knew you were all quite reasonable people. Please, take these coolant sprays. That's card CS1, by the way. And these poisons as well. And that's going to be card K1. And please, make your way to that ship. If you manage to pull this off, well, the entire resources of the camp will be at your disposal, of course, but most importantly, you'll have secured yourselves a seat on the ship off of here.
Did she give us 2 of each? How much of each?
She gave you 2 coolant sprays, period, and she gave you 2 bottles of poison, presumably 1 for each nest.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's best if the tree folk take the coolant, considering we're about to go in somewhere hot, and I don't think you would do well in there.
I've got the coolant.
All right, you want me to carry them bottles of poison?
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll take the other coolant as well.
Okay.
So, all right. Thank you. We'll try our best, I suppose.
Oh, good luck to you, please. And she'll have you escorted out of the office. Moving out of the navigation room into the main streets of the settlement, you can clearly see the ship. But you can't really take too many steps forward it before a couple of wasps kind of come out of an alley and block your path. Ah, you're the new ones in town, right?
Yes.
Please, come with us. Morag, our leader, wants to speak with you.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we will get into the geopolitics of this.
You were
This
not
camp.
getting out of the geopolitics of this place.
Okay.
I told you I should have cooked something.
Oh, it'll be fine.
It's probably fine.
Unless you could whip up some boom whiskey real quick.
Ah, man after my own heart. Come this way, cousin, please. And they'll lead you through the alleyways. Come along!
No. No.
You're taken into, well, speaking of Spikehead's cousins, you're brought to a workshop. It appears that these wasps are all engineers of some sort, and they are working away on repairing bits of equipment, not nearly as loudly or as haphazardly as Spikehead. There's quite a bit.
These are engineers.
These are engineers. These aren't crazed tinkerers. But they are working dutifully, and in fact, you can see that there are bedrolls that are kind of laid out in the corner of the workshop. It appears that many of them don't leave to go home and rest. They just catch some winks in the corner, get back up, and go back to work. These are the types of people who are incredibly diligent in their work and probably would be doing the same thing whether they were marooned on a rock or not. Bringing through the workshop, you're brought into another office. This one has schematics, designs, and even a small private workbench set along the side. A wasp sort of straightens himself up as you're brought in. Greetings, I'm Morag. Please, come in. I see that those spiders got to you first, but please, don't be mistaken. Those spiders are fools. Did I give you that? They gave you that spiel about salvaging that ship?
Well, specifically, they gave us a spiel about seeing if the engine still works.
Of course, the engine works. Those engines, marvels of engineering, those engines. Incredibly rugged, incredibly robust, teeming with elemental energy. As long as the seals stay set, that thing will last for centuries. But the entire rest of that ship, he brings you to a window. Well, look at it. Patchworks of mushrooms, trees growing out of the deck. Who knows where those roots go? Entire decks and bulkheads have been collapsed.
I could find out where they go. I'm sure they could be made my friends.
None of it's any good anymore. The entire thing needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. But the engine is what's important. The core stone, if it still exists, unfortunately, those core stones, there's no telling. It's likely long gone.
Well, we found more.
What?
Yeah, there's
Well, I tried to tell the spider. Spider said just look for the core stone in the ship. But yeah, there's more.
You found a core stone
there's
deposit?
a big one.
Yeah.
His eyes absolutely glow with possibilities. Yes. Yes, if you found it. Yes, absolutely. That's what we need then. There's no point to... Yes, there's no point to any of this. Kind of dismissively waves his hand.
Oh.
Then he kind of steps around, stalks for a minute. That engine. I need you to get that engine out.
I can see about that if you can see about a behemoth.
Yeah, there's like a giant beetle with like a tapeworm that's just guarding it.
Or if you got explosives, I know a guy who can take care of it himself.
Explosives, eh? He pulls a crate out, opens the top of it, and there's actually a set of very cleanly packaged literal fire grenades that he's going to pull out and set down. You can feel free to charge them up with energy yourself if you know how, but these things here will get the job done. Look, that ship is entirely infested with the local wildlife. There are nests of critters there. Just bomb them. Get rid of them. clean them out of your way.
How
Look,
many-
if you don't even want to deal with it, tell you what, I've got a back door that'll get you right to the heart of the wreck, right to the engine room. You interested?
How many grenades?
How many grenades? I believe.
I'm always
First off, it's going to be card M1, by the way.
Oh, boy.
I'm always interested in the back
6
door.
of them.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Let's calm down.
If you want to skip all that nonsense, just get on down there, take that engine out of its housing, make sure it's secure, and bring it back here, and we can build a brand new ship around it. With that core stone deposit that you found, we'll be out of here in no time.
Well, now, how long do you think it'll take to put that ship together?
With the whole team working on it and those spiders finally rid of their delusions of grandeur, maybe a week.
So, if I can just make it clear really quick, you want to fix the engine, not the ship.
Absolutely. The engine should just be... there's no repairing that engine. There's no point to repairing it where it is. I need you to take it out of its mounting and bring it back to the workshop.
But what if we can't move it?
You'll be able to. It's going to be heavy, and one of you are trying to have nothing that they can do but haul that thing. But you can move it.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the model that went into this ship.
Okay.
In fact, he actually points to a schematic on the wall of what appears to be an engine.
I'm just spitballing here. You want to fix the engine, not the ship. They want to fix the ship, not the engine.
Well, they probably want to fix both, or they're more foolish than I thought over there.
Have you guys thought about you put the workshop in the ship while they repair it, and then you fix the engine while they fix the ship?
Why are we going to waste our time repairing that moldy, rotten hull? We just need to start fresh. I keep telling the spiders this. The spiders are trying to make that wreck fly again. They're idiots. The whole thing needs to be demolished. All we need to salvage is the engine, and we can build a better, lighter ship around it that isn't rotting away and held together with mushrooms and spit.
What are you going to build the new ship out of?
The ingredients that we've stockpiled here. We have plenty of building materials. We've built an entire camp out of it. We can repurpose these buildings simply enough and easily.
Okay, I just want to make sure everything's clear. We're cool.
Oh,
Okay.
we're ready to go. And he points to more schematics of the wall of a planned ship built around the salvaged engine.
You've got a lot here. I didn't realize how much wall real estate you had in here. This is pretty incredible.
Pulls down a roll.
Wow.
Can I charge these bombs?
You can charge these bombs.
I'm going to spend 5 energy to charge 5 bombs to make them all tier 4 bombs.
You've got 5 tier 4 bombs. And as you start just charging these things up, the engineer wasp, Mossack, he just starts chuckling to himself.
That was him throwing something out of excitement.
Yeah.
His wings start to kind of flutter a little bit and buzz.
Oh gosh.
Okay, well.
Everyone's getting real excited.
I dropped the poisons, dropped all the things I was carrying. There's just a pile of 5 things on the desk now, and there's 5 bombs in my pocket.
You know your
all
bag
tier
does
4.
hold 6, right? No, your bag holds 5. I lied. Yep, your bag holds
I was
5.
like, my
We've
paper
been-
says
we've been
5.
hacked.
Your paper
If it
says
says
5.
6, you got a lot of backup items to be giving us.
Well, okay, wait, what did you drop? I could take some things. I have 1 spot left.
I dropped fire fern, a star flower, some food moss, and a bedroll. The bedroll got dropped a little to pick up the poisons,
Okay.
and then there's also 2 poisons on the table.
I have everything I need right here.
I'll take a poison just to feel alive. Do we have a poison card I can take really quick?
Poison card, I think I already gave that to
Got
you, right?
some, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Now, you'll probably need some cooling spray to keep the engine down.
We got that.
No, we can take more.
Of course you do.
We'll never
of
say
course
no.
you do. You can take another one if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, great. Keep it under control. Now, how about that back door into the wreck, huh? You want me to help you out with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
Come
take a
on
look.
here. Let me show you what I got. You'll love this. He's going to go ahead and lead you back to a pen behind the workshop.
Are there puppies in the pen?
There are the opposite of puppies in the pen.
Grenades.
Inside this pen is you get flashbacks to the skeleton in the lake. It is a shipbreaker centipede adolescent.
Oh.
And by say adolescent, a baby shipbreaker centipede, this thing is 12 feet long,
Oh.
and it is just running in circles. It occasionally goes up the walls and moves, and this thing's got a lot of momentum. But don't you worry. I'm going to take this pen down to the side of the ship, open it up. It's going to smell the energy in that engine. It's going to tear its way right through the hull. Bulkheads, decks, doors, nothing gets in this thing's way. It's going to carve you a path straight on down to the engine room. Of course, when it gets there, it's going to do its best to eat the engine. I need you to not let it do that.
Do we just
how
kill
about-
it?
That would be what I would suggest, yeah.
Or
Okay.
There's no talking with these things.
we could just go in the ship this way. I don't want to be a party to getting eaten.
I mean, I guess if you want to go the long way, you can.
I see it
You
as
should-
us fighting one thing versus like 6 of 2 other things.
And I can burn the ship down when we leave.
And he can do that.
Okay, if you're real excited about it.
Absolutely.
Are you guys ready for this?
Let's go.
Oh, I've been waiting. And he kind of
You
runs
said
back
that they
in.
weren't-
Boys, we have it.
You
The
said that they
time
weren't
is
crazy.
now. Huh?
You said they weren't crazy.
They're not. They're excited.
He's not sane. Like,
This is definitely a spike head maneuver right here.
See, the thing is that Spikehead just says the quiet part loud, but all of the wasps really feel this way.
The only bad side about a firebomb is you can't fish with them.
You can if you try hard enough.
I could evaporate the lake if I had enough of them.
Now you're thinking like an engineer.
I do have 5 of them.
He has some boys come out, and they start fluttering their wings and
Can I
pushing this
Carry
cage.
the 6th one in my hand.
The 6th one in your hand. I will let you use a weapon slot for it.
I don't have an open weapon slot.
Then you
I just
can't
want to
carry
immediately
it. No,
throw it.
I'm sorry, no.
Like to test it. I want to, yeah, because I want to use one, see what it does.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is this one charged?
No,
No, it's not?
It's just
Okay.
the 6th one.
Yeah, no. So this thing is actually it's fairly ingenious. You twist it, and the twisting creates a spark, which lights a fuse. You then throw it, and it explodes into not like a concussive explosion, but a burst of fire. And it's a
It's an
whoosh.
incendiary grenade.
It's an incendiary grenade. Is exactly what it is.
And I get an energy.
You lit something on fire. You like that, do you? Don't burn the camp down, though.
No, not the camp.
The shipbreaker centipede is kind of moved up to the deck. The ship, even though it's crashed, a great deal of it is indeed underground. And the wasps kind of look at each other. You ready? You ready?
Let's
And he kind
give her
of
a
bangs
go.
on the side of the cage with a rod, and the centipede seems to just kind of go faster and faster. And he's like, "Let her rip!" And they smash the front of the door off. It falls off, and the centipede immediately bolts, kind of stops outside, raises its head a bit, focuses on the ship, and smashes into the side of the ship.
I'm gonna go grab onto the end of it and let it pull me through.
There is no grabbing onto this thing when it's moving. There is only getting out of the way, and it starts to burrow its way down. And you can follow it, though.
Absolutely.
This thing smashes into the side of the ship. The walls disintegrate, almost like they're made of paper as you follow this thing in, much to the hooting and cheering of the wasps. But then the centipede does something a bit unexpected. It immediately stops, dips, and heads downward, almost straight down, and crunching through decks, crunching through bulkheads, down, down, down. It's a simple matter just to drop yourself down after this thing.
Oh yeah, I'm jumping
Yeah,
in,
jumping
doing
in.
a backflip and free falling.
And this thing goes, and within a matter of minutes, you find yourself in the bottom, in the engine room. And you can see the engine. And it's not so much that the engine is huge. The engine appears to be more of a containment vessel that's holding a reservoir of elemental energy. And what is really the primary bulk is the mechanisms attached to this. Glancing at it, you can almost assuredly see how you could simply take this off, although it certainly looks old, and it certainly looks like it's been chewed on by quite a few things.
But we got other stuff to do, like try to keep the worm from eating it.
And that's the problem. The centipede seems to have been eyeing this engine, clanking its mandibles in anticipation, and then you land behind it, and it spins around and faces you. Ooh. And you have about a free moment to ready yourself before this thing closes up and charges directly at you to protect its brand new food source.
I get my spear out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thornpike spear is going to be helpful.
Cudgel in one hand, nail gun in the other, firebomb in my mandibles.
Kaboom.
Oof. All right. It's go time, fellas.
All right. So the first thing that's going to happen is this thing is charging towards you, and this thing moves like an absolute freight train. The three of you are going to have to figure out some way of handling this. Normally, you with the spear would get a free shot at it, but as you jab the spear out, this thing, when it charges up, it actually closes its entire front up, and your spear just clings off of this guard. It's almost immune to you being able to damage it while it's charging.
So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to set myself, and I'm going to let the thing try to hit me at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
And when it hits me at the angle, I'm going to try to stand so that it exposes its nape to my two friends here.
Okay.
So I'm going to take the charge, but angle myself in a way that exposes the nape so that they can get their shots in.
All right. That sounds very, I'm going to say that's a, what do you think, block? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and give me a block. That's going to be difficulty level 12.
That's going to be 3 successes, and one of them's a 20. So a 20, a 13, and a 13.
Oh my god. All right.
Nice.
Success.
You know, that's, that's really good. All right. A resounding success. So we again have the situation of the car charging into the tree at 200 miles an hour.
Guys,
The
I'm
tree
really
tends to
good
win.
at this.
The tree wins. So this thing is ready to truck all three of you. It hits Arutha first, and Arutha just boom and smashes it over. This thing flops over and starts flailing all of its legs, almost in a flurry of bladed limbs. You are all kind of set aback a bit. This thing seems vulnerable to you being able to attack it, but anyone who tries to close with melee is going to get caught by this storm of blades. So you're either going to need reach weapons or ranged weapons, or you're going to have to risk getting injured.
I've got a reach weapon.
I think
We
we've
all
got
have
all
that.
of that.
I was secretly planning. I was like, you made the spear, and I was like, yes, that was the last one. All right.
Well, he already had the spear, it just got better.
It's a really good spear.
That's true. All right, so I guess we'll start with Carvey with his brand new Carvey spear.
Yeah, he's gonna immediately start poking at it.
All righty, so you have a green spear, as I recall, right?
Yes.
It's got a difficulty level 12.
That's 2 successes.
2 successes.
Which
So
means I
what's
get a stamina.
you can get a stamina back, and what is the cost you 2 stamina to do that though? But
So
what
only
is? Sorry, actually you won 2 successes, right?
Yes.
So it only costs you 1 stamina, which you got back.
And yes, so that is 3 damage to it.
Brilliant, as you carve away into this. What about our good friend Arutha?
Arutha, as he's knocking the thing to the side, will immediately follow it up with a reach down attack with the spear.
Cool. You're using your barbecue sticker?
I'm using my thornpike spear.
Thornpike spear. That's a green one also, right?
It is.
Perfect. Difficulty level 12.
It's got the sleep and the diz on 3 successes.
Well, let's see what you get.
320s. That's 2.
2 successes.
Nice. What's your damage on 2?
2 damage.
2 damage. All right. And finally, let's move on over
Firebomb.
to Firebomb.
Let's move on over to Firebomb.
That's definitely a red weapon. So go ahead and give me a... No, bombs just work, right?
I don't think element matters. It's just give me a DL and I hit it.
I just give you a DL and you hit it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be 14. This thing is very aggressive. So trying to overcome it with red weapons.
Alrighty, that's 3 successes.
Are you serious?
Even if I had left it as a quality 2, that was 3 successes. A 13, a 14, and a 15.
So this thing reels back with its mandibles open.
That's what bombs do, is bombs get a +4 on the attack.
No. Bombs do 4 damage if they're quality
it's a firebomb.
4. Huh?
It's a firebomb.
I know.
So it burns for 4?
4. Because you empowered it, right?
Yes.
Normally you would empower
okay,
you
so
would burn
2
for
successes.
2. Yeah.
13, 14, 15. Deal 14.
Correct. You got 2 successes.
1 stamina.
Cool. Good enough. So it takes you 1 stamina. This thing rears up. You chuck this firebomb, it goes right in its mouth, and then its head literally explodes. And it just collapses to one side, violently twitching. Wow, I thought that monster was going to be way harder.
All right. Wow, this is
The
a resounding success.
The unbreakable tree.
Now, to be fair, the bomb does 0 damage. It now burns for 4 damage on each of its turns.
No, it just does 4 damage. It's a damaging grenade. It's not a status effect grenade.
I thought a firebomb is just a firebomb.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like
I'll take 4 damage.
It is 4
I
damage.
was expecting it to be 4 burn or
Yeah,
something.
no. These are
Hell yeah.
These firebomb grenades are damage consumables. They're not status effect consumables.
I'm happy.
Okay.
Standing on this corpse, I mean, good job, everyone, but we did just like
Cackles
massacre.
maniacally.
Oh.
Cackles maniacally.
I protected my friends.
You
We did it, boys.
I feel a little bad for how immediately we killed that thing, but good job.
I didn't even
Does
get
it-
to give it a name.
Does it have anything worth like harvesting?
The shipbreaker centipede. You can harvest its meat if you want to.
Meat's always
yeah.
pretty good. I do happen to have a free inventory slot now.
Yeah.
All right, great. So give me a hunting check.
I'll take a look at the engine.
The engine. You take a look at that engine. You studying it. You looked at there's several ways that you could take it apart. It's going to be an engineering check to do that.
What's the deal for the meat?
The meat. It's going to be 12.
1 success.
All right, you managed to. Good enough. You managed to go ahead and take a meat. Use. Let's see here. What was it? SK1, I think it was. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, SK1.
Makes
So
sense.
many.
Yeah. All right. You have an engine. With some skillful engineering work, you think you can dismantle it off of the wall.
Guys, I don't know what that thing does, but it doesn't look like anything I've ever taken apart or put back together.
I've never touched an engine in my life. How are you looking over there, engineer style?
Oh, I can handle it. Ain't no big deal.
Oh, good. Did any of us bring tools? Like a wrench?
I know one of you have engineering tools. Is that on
Sal.
one of our Kadena friends?
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right.
All right.
No, it's fine.
It's gonna be difficulty level 12.
2 successes.
2 successes. You
I don't
managed-
have any training or any tools. It's all just luck.
Yep. Well, you found a horribly rusted wrench, which you use to loosen the fittings. The wrench snaps on the last nut that you managed to take off. Collapses into rusted scrap, but you managed to disconnect the engine, and you very gingerly lift it out of this housing. This thing's pretty darn heavy. This is like carrying something that weighs 80 pounds. But it's gonna. Any one of you can carry it, but you're not gonna be able to do anything but carry the engine.
I can stand strong.
Sure. I'm not the strongest in town, so sounds good to me.
You guys, will you protect me?
Yeah.
Well, you protected us. We'll just return a favor.
So
Okay.
we have to bring this thing straight up, right?
Yeah, so you get to the area where the shipbreaker centipede broke through, and it's in the ceiling that's like directly above you, and you look at this engine, and you look at the hole, and you're like, there is no way you're getting it up there. Your only choice is to try to make your way back through. It looks like this plan wasn't well thought out very well. It was just more of like, hey, cool, we caught a shipbreaker centipede. You want to see it do something cool? It's a very WASP way of thinking. It occurs to you.
It worked.
It did.
It worked.
It did. It's just step 2. That's the issue. It appears you have no choice but to painstakingly find your way back through the below decks of the ship to make it back.
Okay. Well, let's make sure we bring all of the components with us.
The engine itself, you can feel it. Actually, almost you can feel the pent-up energy inside it. It's sort of slightly warm to the touch, almost like a slight static around it, belying the tremendous power that's being contained within it.
Where does this thing come from?
Wurmst. These are constructed, as you may know, maybe not you. You want to spend a research point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious. I'm holding it. I'm going to be smelling it the whole time.
So you recall that engines of this sort are tremendously complicated pieces of machinery. They require very, very precise tools, a great deal of energy, and some of the finest minds the tribes can produce to assemble these fantastic pieces of equipment that allow the tribes of Sentima to conquer the skies between their islands. It is a marvel of engineering and elemental energy technology. As for how they're made, you have no heckin' idea. But the grand foundries that the tribes maintain will churn these out, and they can create some spectacular workmanship to go and harness the energy of the skies and the winds to power their ships. In fact, they've gotten so good at creating these that the main limiting factor of new skyships isn't the engine, it's core stone. Because core stone is the only way you have to fight gravity to get from island to island.
Well, it seems to me like we should go, put some hurt on that behemoth so we could get some more car stone.
That'd be good. Let's focus on surviving the ship first before we have to...
We could just shoot down another ship and take their core stone.
Oh, that seems mean, though.
Yeah, but it's effective.
In the distance, cackling laughter from Spikehead.
We'll strap one of these here fire bombs right on the end of that ballista and blow them out.
I guess we should start making our way back.
Do we get a sense from the scale of where it was outside and kind of the vibe of how far down we dropped? How close are we to, the edge of the ship? Are we, just in the center of the ship?
You are basically in the center of the ship.
Okay.
And moreover, you are under the ground level at this point.
So breaking several walls isn't going to get us out
Breaking
of there.
several walls will eventually, after much work, is going to get you a face full of dirt and stone that you are buried underneath. You're going to have to clamber up through the superstructure of the ship.
Got it.
Well, let's get to clambering.
So you move out carrying this heavy engine, and you're making your way out picking your way through broken bulkheads and doorways, and you come out into the below decks, and this area is an absolute maze. It is relatively well lit. You can see that there are luminescent fungi and plants that have apparently just naturally grown up in here. In some cases, they look a bit too regular for that. It appears that maybe some of the scouts from the repair site actually came and planted the luminescent fungus and plants down here to provide light. So seeing your way isn't a problem, but it seems what were once straight paths have become crooked, broken. Decks have collapsed into other decks. You have to clamber over piles of refuse. In some cases, the best way to get through is to cut into a side room, go through a hole in the wall, and keep going to find your way up, and it is very difficult going. Why don't you all give me a search test? Or anybody, really, can give me a search test.
I'll give it to you guys.
Hey-ya. What's the DL?
DL is gonna be...
I mean, I passed no matter what.
Okay, well, that's good. You roll a bunch of 20s?
I rolled a 20 and a 10 and a 6.
20 and a 10 and a 6. Bear with me.
I'm thinking the 20 does the job.
The 20 would definitely do the deal.
It
But
could
the
have
10
been DL4, so you could.
I could have tripled.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
14.
I was almost right.
Well, I've got this handy-dandy little pair of goggles right here that turns a partial
You do.
into a full success.
You do. the
Once per
Morning
day.
Star oil goggles that you have. That's right, you were given those. So as you're picking your way through, you just catch yourself and grab a handhold that's a bit sturdier, and you can kind of see Jay Stahl's movements get kind of graceful as he picks his way over the debris through the deck and finds a path through this entire maze of collapsed and broken down bulkheads.
Maybe it's because he came from a hive and he's used to it.
And
I'm just talented.
swimming around through the last bulkhead, you open the door and step in, and you can see a set of stairs leading up onto the deck. But immediately at the bottom of the deck, you see a nest kind of built up out of scrap, and coming out of them are the skitterers that have been told
an answer
about.
for this right here.
And the skitterers actually look like silverfish. If any of you have seen silverfish, they look like silverfish, but they're about, each of them is about this big,
About
about
a
the size of
wiener dog
a
size.
of a cowboy cut steak. Woo!
Did the mics pick that?
Florida Thunder.
I'm sure
Or
the
people
mics
at home
picked
might have
that
heard that one. The skitterers don't make that big noise. That might be the behemoth clomping around outside.
No,
it's the
it's-
Florida behemoth. It's okay. It goes away.
It's nature's false, like, things making themselves look bigger, like with their wings and stuff. They do make that sound. They're just not dangerous at all.
They're just not at all dangerous.
Just dropping boulders.
Well, I assure you that the skitterers certainly might not be dangerous individually, but they are charging at you.
We're gonna have to get the bug spray.
Can I just answer this problem real quick?
You can if you want to.
I'm just gonna answer this problem real quick.
Go ahead and give me, because you're throwing this will count as range, so you can actually preempt the skitterer charge. Go ahead and roll it. I should probably give you a DL, huh?
Yeah.
Probably be something that you'd like.
I haven't said any numbers yet because I don't want to be sad. I definitely rolled a 1 and a 7 and then a third
don't want
number.
to be sad. It's going to be 10, difficulty 10.
Oh, fine. We're fine. I rolled a 14.
A 14? Okay, so only one success?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's still a firebomb.
So 2 successes, firebomb will go off, and the fuse on this bomb seems to be a bit long. It will detonate the nest, and the majority of the skitterers go flying away. But it doesn't catch the vanguard who
I
are
took
charging
care
you.
of the problem.
Indeed, you did, but there's still some problem left. There's
This
3
is a
skitterers,
nuisance.
each of you who are going to have to handle it. So we have
Gun.
a reach weapon and a reach weapon, right?
Yup.
You all can make some attacks with your reach weapons before they close on you.
I can't gun
Can
them.
I? Do I just have to
Huh?
be?
I can't gun them.
No,
Can I hold the engine and make an attack at the
you
same time?
cannot. You're going to have to be
That's-
protected.
That's what I was thinking. That's
Yeah.
why I didn't want to attack.
I'll be in front of him. What's the DL?
DL for your spear's green, right?
Yes.
Okay, green's gonna be.
Not amazing.
Sorry, give me a minute. Got them on different pages here. 10.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I rolled 2 11s. So again, no stamina spent because of my spear. That's 3 damage to
3 damage.
one
you
of them.
spear it effortlessly and shuck it down, giving you enough time to step in front of the one coming after Arutha. How are you going to defend yourself against this thing skittering over?
I'm gonna just tip tap my feet and try to kick it away whenever it tries to attack at all.
All right, I'm going to call that an athletics to try to kick it away and push it back. Does that sound good?
No, but I'll take it.
All right.
I'm not gonna fight for anything else, really.
So the thing isn't particularly, it is literally a fifth of your size. You could
Yeah.
probably bully it without too much difficulty. It's difficulty 10.
All right. It's 1 success.
1 success.
7,
That's
8,
a
now
success.
15.
All right. So you go to you put your foot and try to stomp it. It hips back and latches its teeth onto your leg and rips a hunk of coral out,
Ow.
viciously wounding you. You're going to be lightly wounded from this.
Ouch.
Ow.
But
Do
the
you-
attack is stopped.
Do you have energy?
I do have energy. Oh, I can do my my thing. To
The
not-
wall!
Yes,
Feel
wall.
no pain.
Thank you for reminding me.
This is one wall you'll never
I
crawl.
do have like 12 energy I can spend, so I'm gonna just keep standing there.
Boom. With the power of the green energy flowing through you, you heal the injury instantly. Ooh. And J-Stall, you have one skittering at you, trying to take a chunk out of your waspy wings.
I'm going to step on it.
You're going to step on it. That sounds like athletics to me.
You got this.
I need a DL.
Oh, it's the same thing. 10. Sorry.
Okay, just making sure.
I thought you were staring at each other lovingly. That was a really sweet moment.
Staring deep into his eyes.
Yeah.
An 18 and a 20 and a 7.
Okay, so 2 successes, and one is a 20. Very nice. You managed to boot this thing, stagger it back. It's got only it does take a point of damage from that, and it kind of flops onto its back a bit, and it is staggered, easily lined up for a counter stroke.
Woo.
Especially those of you with stabby weapons that want to go take a peek at it. I don't know what you want to do, Stall.
Cudgel.
Cudgel. Thwap. Difficulty 10 with your red needle reed chimera cudgel.
A lot. That is a lot of things.
3 successes. Oof. That's 5 damage.
It turns to dust.
So you come down on this thing,
and it's gone.
and the needle reed kind of wraps up on it, and it goes, and like tears it in half.
You went silver fishing.
Yeah, that's all there is to that.
Ain't that a darn shame right there?
Let's see. There's one silverfish left, right? This one has been knocked back a bit, but it comes around and it's coming again for another attack. Again, it's up to you to defend Arutha.
Yeah, I'll do it. Can I try it? I'll try to use my axe to just drop it in front, like drop the blade in front of it to try to block it like as a wall.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to try to stymie it with that. Give me a block check.
I'm much better at that.
This is also going to be difficulty 10. These things don't particularly appear to be very vital. They're easy to stop in their tracks. They're also much smaller than you.
That's 3 successes.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. That's 2 successes.
That's good. Good enough. Good enough. You have to kind of move it around a bit, but you're managing to defend it back. And the last one you managed to knock it around, it kind of sends it staggering a bit, making it vulnerable to a follow-up.
I will then reach attack with the spear again.
Go and stab it.
Bad bug.
What was the DL to hit it?
10.
10?
DL's 10.
It's 1 success.
1 success. That's how much damage?
2 damage.
Well, because this one didn't take damage. You went and blew it. So you stab it for 2 damage, and then Gistal, your turn.
Bonk.
I stabbed its leg off. That's all you.
Damn.
I am so sorry. That's 3 more successes as I proceed to delete another one.
Legs just fly off in different directions from the blast.
J-Stall is my hero.
And Arutha is protected by her companions.
She is so happy that J-Stall is here.
We don't even need the other 2 at this point. We've
things
handled
are going
more
fine.
creatures without them.
We're going to get off this hunk of rock before they're even back.
They don't even realize.
They follow you, and the courser's gone. The camp is abandoned, and they see a ship flying away. See ya, suckers!
We're gonna Irish goodbye them off of this prison island.
Let me see you try and make a stick out of this.
So the room falls silent. The skitterers that were not caught in the initial fire explosion have panicked and fled into the deeper recesses of the ship.
All right, I got 3 more bombs, boys. Give me something to burn.
And there is a set of stairs, broad stairs that look fairly sturdy still, that lead up onto the deck. I would say you see the sign of daylight outside, but there really isn't such a thing in this area of the continent. It's just kind of gloom.
The gloom.
But you don't see the ceiling in the next room. It's just the black gloom. So, that must be the sky.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm going ahead and saunter my way up there.
I'm gonna take up the middle so that I'm protected from all the evil of the world.
I guess I'm at the
got
rear.
some thighs to be carrying an 80-pound bag all the way from down there up to the top deck.
There's a reason why the tree can't do anything else.
We're the rooted. We're very stable.
Rooted over here just doing squats.
With an entire engine.
So you'll come up and you'll be on deck, and Morag was not joking. When he said that this wreck literally had trees growing out of it, you're face to face with a grove of trees sprouting from the main deck. This is it's not so much deck of a ship as it is a thicket that has grown.
It's a tree house.
It's a tree house that's grown out of the deck of this ship. The more you're around it, the more it really seems like maybe the wasps have a point. This might
That's
be
why we
beyond
agreed with them.
salvaging.
Yeah.
And
We took the side of the engineers because they're engineers.
hey, maybe just not because they like blowing stuff up, but they might actually
That's a
know
good
how to
bonus.
build a ship. You
Both.
come out on deck, and the one thing that does catch your eye is this distinct wafting flavor on the wind, on the air as it comes down to you. That is a sweet, and then too sweet of a flavor, almost like a overly ripe, almost rotting type smell, where it's just on the border of, if I don't eat this today, I'm gonna have to toss it kind of thing. And looking at the trees in the center of this thicket, you can see these swollen figures of rot plum fruits hanging off of them. In addition to that, there seem to be a number of other mushrooms kind of growing out of the deck that look like they could be harvestable. But one thing that also catches your eye is you see that the rot plum trees are actually, I wouldn't say necessarily infested, but certainly made home of a number of small insects, which you would recognize as plum snouts, which are not dangerous individually. They're even far smaller than the skitterers you fought. They're like maybe that big, about the size of what a wasp would be to us. But there are hundreds of them in the trees, and you can even make a nest out in the midst of it all.
Oh. Is
I look
that
at just
the other
all.
thing?
You got this, right?
Yeet.
Yep.
You yeet a firebomb out.
Oh, this is gonna be bad if
Oh,
he
this is
doesn't
gonna
get
be great.
all of them.
Go ahead and give it to me. It's going to be difficulty 12.
One success.
One success goes off. It will bloom out into fire, and many of the plum fruits explode with this sort of, as they're superheated
Secondary explosion.
almost immediately. But one thing that you notice is that the plum snouts kind of tuck inside the leaves and then kind of burst out. A number of them have been singed badly, but there are still plenty of them, and they swarm out and descend upon you.
I
But the
saw
nest is
that
gone.
It is
happening.
not. It is pretty badly
Ah.
burned, but it is not gone.
Great.
And you have these plum snouts are descending on the lot of you. You are.
Can I put the engine down at this point since we're outside the ship?
You would have to kind of. You're on the deck. You're not like
Got it.
on the. Yeah, you're not off the ship
I am
yet.
going to sit there and go, well, this is awkward.
Oh, it'll be fine.
We probably got this. We were only gloating earlier. It couldn't come back to bite us.
That's gonna bite us right there. All of them.
And they will descend upon you. How are you going to protect yourselves while also making an opening for the firebomb to get thrown? The other possibility is you can just say, screw it, I'm just going to throw the firebomb anyway and get wounded. That's an option you have.
How does the poison work? Is it like just like a big spray that you just make a cloud out of?
You got to go and hit the actual nest with it.
Oh,
And
it's
then
like
they
a,
all
oh, it's
die
a
like
needle.
a hive mind.
Right. Okay.
They leave is what they do, but yeah.
All right, I'll try to block both of them to let him get. I'll take the brunt of it so he can throw the bomb a little easier.
Okay, you're gonna try to block it. That's fine. You're gonna go try to kind of wave your arms in the way.
Yup.
Good. Give me a block test. These plum snouts are relentless. So they're quite difficult to swat away. But go ahead and give me a difficulty 16 to defend yourself and Arutha.
I got a lot of energy. It's fine. That's a natural 20 on one of them and a 14, so that's only one success.
Only one success. Take 2 stamina, but you are able to successfully keep Arutha protected. And
I'm
Gestal.
safe as trees.
And Gestal, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to tuck in and just rely on my carapace to stave them off, just like covering all the vitals,
Okay.
essentially blocking them.
So I'm. Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
you want resist or something.
No, I was gonna say that's resistance, but you can. I'll let you use block if you'd rather.
Resistance is fine. I was just thinking block, but I mean, I have the gas mask. I don't mind resistance.
It's probably resistance is gonna make sense for that. You're just gonna try to bear it and kind of get through. So go right ahead to give me. It's gonna be only 14 for you because you're not trying to protect someone else.
You're really bad at this.
Well, I succeeded on 1, and I have another dice right here. I succeeded on 1.
Yeah.
One
there
success.
it is.
So you managed to get your way through, break an opening, but as you're kind of moving in and stagger, you actually bump into the engine as Arutha's trying to cradle it, and you hit it pretty hard, and a slight crack kind of rums up the side. A slight hissing of energetic steam starts to leak out of the engine, but it's nothing too bad just yet. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. However, you have managed to make an opening for yourself, and you may throw another bomb.
Bomb. What was the DL for the bomb?
Bomb DL is gonna be 12 because of the overgrown nature of the area.
1 success.
1 success. The bomb will explode again, a bit prematurely, actually. This one has a bit of a shorter fuse, and again, this fire will balloon out and actually catch, not only singe Arutha a bit, but also the engine itself. The plum snout nest will evaporate into flames, and the plum snouts themselves will scatter away from you. But the crack in the engine has actually grown quite larger, and your sensory organs start kind of going a little haywire. You'll see spots in your visions. Your skin almost seems to itch as this raw elemental energy is sort of spewing out of it. And you're going to be getting the allergic reaction condition, all 3 of you. So you're going to be taking a penalty to investigation test. So any search tests you make to try to find things, it's just so hard to focus. So it's going to be +2 to that.
So Arutha has some bandages that I kept from the initial thing that we had. And it's not traditional, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to take some of the moss and some of the liquid that I have from left over from the lily, and I'd like to use it to try to seal up the crack and then wrap it in the bandage.
So let's see here.
It's not going to hold forever, but hopefully
Surgery on the engine.
It will keep it long enough for the engineers to keep the crack from growing.
So
Does the cooling spray help with this?
The cooling spray might help with this, actually.
I'll use one of those. I'll use it in tangent, like in tandem with that.
So the cooling spray was going to go ahead and calm the engine down to make it easier to pick up again and kind of calm that leak a little bit. The as for the your attempts to patch this, the tags you're using, do any of those tags have insulating or freezing?
Give me a minute. Yes. Oh, that's that. That's the cooling spray.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
Give me a minute. Bandages don't have tags. Did the bandages have tags?
Yeah, I mean, not really. They're really designed more to treat injuries, not used for engineering.
Then, since we're out on the deck,
Nothing that we have found today has any of those.
yeah,
tags.
not that I
Okay,
see. What's the quickest way that we can see down?
You're on the side of the deck. There's a number of ramps that have been built out. You can easily see a way to get down from here.
Then let's try to get down the ramp and get this thing back to the wasps
Yeah,
as
the
soon as
faster
possible.
we get it to the engineers, the safer it is.
The
Because
safer
it
it's
won't
not
be
our
in our
problem.
hands.
Yeah.
You manage to muscle this thing over, and as you come down the gangway leading to the workshop, a resounding cheer goes up from the wasps. Morak himself comes up with a team. Quickly, take it. Oh, it's not in bad shape at all. Well done. Please come this way. And they're wearing suits that they've put together, and they pick this thing up and carry it away.
Bring the
into
radioactive
workshops.
engine to us with the proper attire to deal with this.
Something like that.
Oh,
And they'll
sick.
they'll take the engine up, and you notice they actually put it in the pen out back where the shipbreaker centipede juvenile used to be, and you can see them chittering away excitedly as they go to repair it.
We hurt your friend. We're sorry.
Well, you know what? I'm quite impressed that the group of you with no formal training managed to make it out on time. But that's phenomenal. Well done. Ha, those fool spiders will have to listen to us now. No point to repairing that wreck if there's no engine in it, eh?
We also cleared out the infestation, so you're free to salvage a ship.
Ha, excellent. That'll make pulling anything there, although I can't think of anything useful. Oh, maybe some of the shells and carapace there. But don't you worry, we're going to have a spectacular boat built in a short amount of time. All we have to do is find that core stone, and you'll have seats of honor on it. You and your friends, I assure you.
We know where the core stone is. It's just the problem of the big monster.
Yes, that'll be something we'll have to deal with. That spider fly has terrorized this island for a great number of years.
If you got some raw explosive material, not necessarily these bombs, which were a fantastic help, by the way, but if you got just raw material, I might have a big old cannon we can use to kill that there spider.
Oh, really? Where might you have this sort of thing?
There's a fancy man named Spikehead back in Haven.
Huh.
He's been building it, and he just needs some explosive tips for his ballista.
A ballista, you say? We definitely need some armament on this thing if we're going to get off of this rock with that without that spider fly biting us out of the sky. We certainly don't want to draw the attention of another shipbreaker centipede. Or, if there's any border patrol boats, we could put paid to them as well.
Exactly.
Sounds like Haven actually has some useful people in it after all.
He's a nice guy, and he yells a lot, but he's really sweet.
Ha! Sounds like a man after my own heart.
Yeah, you give me some raw explosives, we'll bring you a working ballista.
Let's talk. And as you come back to the, as you make your way back through the camp, much to the cheers and hurrahs, you actually see that Kasich is in the workshop with a retinue. They look defeated, a bit slumped down. Well, Morag, it seems you managed to convince our new arrivals of your plan. That's right, I did, and I was right to do it too. They saw the right of it instantly. Yes. Well, look, we all want to get off this island. Deal still holds. There's no... If you're going to go build the ship, guess go ahead and build it best you can. I'll have navigators assist with the piloting instructions, and our deal still holds. Of course it does. I knew you'd see it my way eventually. He slaps the spider on the shoulder, who kind of flinches a bit from the rough handling.
You know what we need? We need a nice family dinner to bring us all together over this lovely new ship plan that we have, and I'm the one to cook it.
Ha! At a victory celebration. That sounds like a great deal to me. Kasich kind of shakes his head. All right, sure. Just as long as it's not any of that damn yellow moss, I'll be happy.
No, I've got skitterer meat. And plum sauce.
Dun 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 dun.
Porky pig like.
And the dejected Kasich is led off, supported by his other pilots, as we convene in the mess hall to celebrate our victory, mourn the defeat of our dreams, and perhaps have some hope for how we're finally going to get off this blasted island. Thank you all for joining with us. I hope you had a great time. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. And thank you to UB's Adventure. Go check out their Kickstarter, their webpage, going right now. I understand they've made quite a bit of progress on that. Maybe y'all can go help with that also, if you're interested in what you see here. Sentima, Sundered Wilds, UGT, Entertainment Network. Thank you very much, and you all have a great night.
I'm the Entertainment Network.